2.5 yards, 3 yards, and you watch for 3 hours, and it's not necessarily aesthetically pleasing football all the time. The execution is top notch, and maybe that's the difference between the U.S. Open, where the execution really struggles. But in terms of just watching something where people struggle to do what is customary in the sport, it's kind of 101. There's not many other things I could think of that kind of had this. You know what you're signing up for. I was thinking about this. Think about the mentality of a pro at the U.S. Open. Think of their mentality. Every time that they step on the tee box of a par 4, they look at it and they go, make 3. Make 3. And if you have to make 4, fine, that's minimum requirement. But make 3. At the U.S. Open, they have to flip their mentality to make 4 and don't do worse than 5. So they have to mentally prepare themselves for the struggle. And some of them failed at it miserably. You saw what Windham Clark did to the locker room at Oakmont, just bombing it. And I don't know what's real or not anymore. There's so much AI and so much of that stuff that's out there. It's hard for me to tell what's real or not. But those photos were real. But then I read something that he was banned at Oakmont. I would think that he would be. Go ahead, Big.
I was just going to say, so I paid attention to the U.S. Open as much as I could. I obviously didn't see any of it. I don't know of this Windham Clark thing, but what I do remember is the last major, we had the picture of him throwing the driver through the poster board or whatever there,
that's right.
The advertisement, and the head of his driver snapped off and almost hit a volunteer. This is 2 majors in a row. He's had an outburst.
Oh, so he did it at the PGA too?
I think that was the PGA that he did that at.
Okay, well then he did, because there's images. Go ahead, Reese.
Wow.
During the PGA Championship at Quail Hollow, he damaged a T-Mobile sign during the final round.
Okay, so he's not right. He doesn't do a great job.
He's the kind of person that lets his emotions get to him. Certainly can be accused of that.
I don't think you want to do that.
It's very interesting because he's one of the biggest long shots ever to win a major, a U.S. Open. And then he does this.
He won it at LACC, right? Is that where he was?
I would have to go back and look.
Wyndham Clark? I think he won it at LACC.
He apologized for the actions.
I bet he did. So, he's not going to be welcome back at Arnie's old place. I mean, you can't have it any other way. But yeah, it was thrilling to watch. It's interesting to watch because they all struggled just so mightily. And you know that you watch, and I'm sitting here watching this thing. I'm like, good Lord, just hit a 5-iron off the tee. Just hit something you can hit straight. Wouldn't it be more beneficial? But the reality is they can't stop it on the greens with anything other than a wedge or a 9 or an 8 or something like that. And so it flies off, and then they have the same trouble around the greens that they have around the fairways. It's you watch also realizing that it's as close as we're ever going to come to a major in Ohio in our lifetime. We did that in The Real Truth, I think, last week. And the more that I talked with folks around golf, that seems more and more the case, that this is as close as it's going to be. So it provided a thrilling result in that it was truly survival. They dodged the rain all throughout Sunday and eventually postponed it a little bit. Actually worked out pretty good. I was able to play quite a bit with the boys, and then we ended up watching the last 4 or 5 holes while we were having dinner at the club. It was great. So yeah, it was thrilling stuff. But it is rare in sport that you watch people at the highest level struggle in a way that they aren't accustomed to doing so, and that somehow it was still sort of appealing to me. And at least I was talking to a buddy of mine, Nick, and he was talking about, hey, what is the identity of the U.S. Open now that it's just going to be drudgery? And my response to it was, at least it has an identity, is kind of where I am with it. I don't know that it's necessarily fun to watch, although I did enjoy watching it this time. But at least when I turn it on, I know what I'm in for. And I know it's going to be drudgery.
I actually love that. I love seeing the pros struggle and look like us, kind of. And I know they're way better, and I know that was ridiculously hard for them, but they're all playing it. Mm-hmm. I love seeing them walk off the course after 9 like I did. I want them to feel my pain.
Well, they did. They did.
It was the ultimate, I think, background. It was, golf makes for great background.
Sure.
When you're just doing whatever around the house. But the U.S. Open provided a lot of moments. You're like, wait, what did he just do? Mm-hmm. I think it was Friday, Rory tomahawking the club, and every time it looked like you saw a guy try to approach on the green, the thing just rolled off. And you're like, well, that's, compile that with yakety sax, and it's for an entertaining spectacle. I'll give it that. And then Sunday provided, I think, a pretty decent, like you talked about the identity of it. I think it pretty much encapsulated what the U.S. Open and how difficult it wants to be for the best in the world. And I think that provides for its moments.
The final pairing at the U.S. Open shot 78-79. It's the last group out. 78-79. The guy who won it, J.J. Spaun, who I couldn't have picked out of a lineup until this week, never heard of the guy, shot 40 on his front nine in the final round and won. That's what happened in this thing. It's interesting, and I'm looking forward to getting Tim on at 11:30, because one thing he said last Friday is this separates the great players from the not. But truly, there weren't that many great players near in the vicinity of this leaderboard. And maybe that's the counter to it, that because it's so difficult, it lends to kind of just dumb luck can sometimes win it. A combination of incredible talent and dumb luck, because it kind of depends on where the ball bounces. And maybe there isn't precision that is rewarded the other way. But I thought the course was stunning. And despite the fact that it looks like a place that, boy, I can't imagine being a member there. It'd be so crazy to go to that place and say, hey, let's go have do they have a leisurely Father's Day round at Oakmont with your kids? Like, what does that even look like? I can't even imagine. J.J. Spaun won it. It's the 125th U.S. Open. But something else happened. So we're going to hear from him. The other thing that happened is Bake. I've always been opposite Bake in regard to Rory, but I might be having a change of heart based on some of the behavior over the weekend, which is just honestly puzzling, to say the least. So we will get to that. What constitutes a blockbuster? I was told two things were blockbuster this weekend. We'll discuss if either was. We're off and running on a Monday edition, Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
Winners of the prestigious Platinum Microphone Award every year, given to the best radio station in the world. No need to look it up. It's real. The Fan.
What John Smiley, Chairman and CEO, wants you to know about First Bank of Central Ohio.
Our competitive advantage is the number of years we've been in Central Ohio and the fact that we're able to make decisions here locally that make sense for the client. At the end of the day, it's the ability for us to say, okay, what can we do to make your banking easier for you?
Experience what it's like to be first at fbcentralohio.com. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Working your way through that honey-do list? That means more flushes, more showers, more fiddling with the thermostat. Trust the pros at the Waterworks with your plumbing and drain cleanings and repairs and all your heating and cooling needs. Our certified pros can repair or replace your furnace or air conditioner. Clogs? Call the Waterworks. Drain cleaning? Call the Waterworks. Plumbing issues? Call the Waterworks. Furnace repairs? Call the Waterworks. The Waterworks, trusted neighborhood plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling experts.
Hey folks, it's Austin Ward here, and I remember the first time I understood that old saying about giving a man a fish. It made so much sense, and I see examples of it all the time. Take the new weight loss meds, for instance. Think about this. You take a shot, you eat less, and you lose weight. But the second you stop, the weight comes back. You never actually changed anything besides eating less of the same bad things. I wasn't interested in renting my results. I wanted to own them. That's why I chose Awaken 180. I needed a lifestyle change, I knew it, and I was excited about it. A medication-free path to long-term weight loss. That's exactly what I got. It's been a year and a half since I dropped my 50 pounds, and I've kept it all off. Awaken 180 taught me how to adjust my approach to food. A real-time education on how to keep it off while losing the weight. I say, learn how to fish. It's easy, it's fast. And for the long-term bonus, no medications. Do what I did and choose the solution for weight loss. Awaken180weightloss.com, 844-346-1800.
This summer, Giant Eagle is making a big splash with a carefree summer sweepstakes and your chance to win free groceries for a year. This June, just spend $10 or more shopping for backyard barbecues, road trip essentials, campfire treats, and everything in between. Then swipe your loyalty card for your chance to win. Only at Giant Eagle. No purchase necessary. Sweepstakes ends 6/30/25. For official rules, visit GiantEagleCarefreeSweeps.com.
Check it. Keno Double Booster is back every Monday in June. For all Keno tickets with Booster purchased between 3 and 5 o'clock, the Booster will be double. Check it. Your winnings could be boosted by as much as 20 times. Don't miss out. Get your Keno ticket with Booster every Monday from 3 to 5 o'clock.
Cool.
Lottery players are subject to commission laws and regulations. Play responsibly.
Check it. Austin and Berm are back with a new daily podcast, the ultimate OSU Football Insiders. You know, it's refreshing to have some smart people working here from time to time.
The Beat with Austin and Berm on the 10 TV Plus app.
Subscribe today.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy houses as is fast for cash. Call me today for an all-cash offer on any of your properties, and we can close within days at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Do you own a property that's outdated and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, I'll buy it. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Would it be convenient for you if you could simply take what you wanted and leave the rest behind? Great, I'll buy it. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family, apartment buildings, rental portfolios. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Call TurboTrack Realty today for an all-cash offer and speak with one of our friendly staff members at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We'll see mostly cloudy skies today with peaks of sun here and there. Afternoon highs getting into the low 80s, and it will be humid. But we will see chances of showers and thunderstorms develop in the afternoon to early evening, although a little bit more spread out. Overnight lows tonight down into the 60s with better chances of showers and storms overnight. For The Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with your 10 weather impact forecast.
Matty Ice has a large tattoo on his calf of LeBron eating a lion. I have nothing else to say. Rothman and Ice.
Weekdays from noon to 3.
The Fan. Connect with the show on X at 971BFS. Jump in our YouTube chat or just send a raven. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Indeed you are, and we are sponsored by our great friends at Diamond Cellar, your true jeweler for over 78 years. Oh, Bake, Diamond Grill. Diamond Cellar, Diamond Grill. How'd that treat you on Friday?
I mean, it was so good. It was like stepping back into the 1960s.
Really is.
But I just got in there and got a little table to myself. They got the one TV there over the bar. I don't think that TV probably ever leaves Guardians or Cavs. And got me a nice little steak, potato and rice, and an old-fashioned, and we just sat there and enjoyed life for about an hour and a half.
Yeah, it's a step back. It's a step back in time. You can see Roger Sterling and Don Draper sliding in there and enjoying a steak.
Didn't realize it was right next to old St. V's, LeBron stomping grounds.
In the vicinity? Yeah.
It's right, I mean, right next door.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah, there you go. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed. The J.J. Spawn wins the U.S. Open. It was the 125th U.S. Open. It was about as cool a way to win an Open as you could get. He needed 2 putts to win it, and he said, to hell with it. I'm just going to make it in one. And it would help because Hovland had showed him the line, which they were pretty smart. Kevin Kisser did a pretty good job, I thought, on the coverage with his commentary. But you had Hovland show him the line, and then he just rolled it in from a long way out. Here's Spawn on winning the birdie putt on 18 to win the U.S. Open.
I grew up watching golf. I was a young kid, wanted to play golf. I loved golf. It was a passion for me growing up, and always played with my parents growing up. And one thing led to another. I wasn't really groomed to be like a professional golfer. I didn't get put through academies. I didn't play the AJGA. I played local stuff. I did qualify for actually my first big USGA event, which was the US Junior. I did that 2 times when I was like 16 and 17. And that's kind of when I realized my potential. But I just kept going like one foot in front of the other, and junior golf, college golf, turning pro, and now here I am with the U.S. Open trophy.
I mean, it's a stunning story. He's 150-1 to win it. Just a crazy story to be able to get that done. We see this sometimes at the Open. You have some other ones. Lucas Glover in 2009. You guys have this in the prep here as 150-1 as well. Clark kind of came out of nowhere. This happens at the U.S. Open. This speaks to what I was talking about in terms of it. You feel like it should be the greatest test and the best players should rise above, but it feels like in this major, you can get some fluky kind of winners that happen. And I think it's mostly just because it's about survival, Reese.
Yeah, your Army-Navy example at the top of the show, I think, was pretty spot on because your opponent or opponents, in the case of Spawn, are going to make mistakes. You just have to make less of them and capitalize on their mistakes, like a 64-foot birdie putt. Capitalize when you can, and then hope it works out for you. Because he's the only golfer of the field to finish 4 rounds under par. Everybody else was plus.
And it took a 60-foot birdie putt to do
that.
Otherwise, he's even.
Because you had McIntyre sitting there in the clubhouse just kind of watching it. And, boy,
he applauded.
You have to.
Which was cool. Right. Like, he clapped. And then Tyrrell Hatton was in there, too. And he was in the middle of, like, the despondence of what happened to him down the stretch. And then he just started smiling and going, he made it. Like, what are you going to do?
As I was paying attention to the leaderboard every so often yesterday, trying to see what was going on, I saw that Robert McIntyre was in the clubhouse at +1, and I was like, this guy's in the best spot there is right now. I was like, this guy, I mean, he may win this thing just sitting there.
Yeah. No, I thought so too, especially the way that it was going. The rain definitely helped Spawn settle. He settled, and that last group went the opposite way. They went completely in the tank with all of the rain and the slight delay. One of the big headlines here, too, is, and this has been a golf headline for a few years, is that golf is in a very weird place. You are in a place where you have these live golfers who paratroop in, and I got news for you. I think the majority of the people have no idea between live and maybe not the majority, but a great number of people who just watch the majors have no idea what's going on with live and PGA or any of it because they're watching the majors, and the majors still have Bryson, and well, they didn't on the weekend, but they have Bryson and they have Koepka and they have Rahm and they have all these guys, and I don't think that there's even much of a knowledge of the spot that the sport is in, but it is a spot. There's no question it's a spot, and it's been this way for a while now. Rory McIlroy has been kind of the face of the PGA Tour, and for many years, he was kind of like a one-man face because Tiger wasn't healthy enough to go fight the fight with him, and so he had to do it. And so at every availability, every tournament, Rory would talk, and he would be asked about the LIV and the PGA, and he would do it over and over and over again, and it was fatiguing. I think that much is very, very plain to see. I think one of the things that I didn't anticipate, and I've always been a Rory guy. He was like the nicest guy ever when he was young at Memorial. Always liked him. I know, Bake, you're kind of on the other side of it. His behavior in the last month or so, though, has been just, quite frankly, a little odd. To that end, he did not talk all weekend at the U.S. Open, and then he had this exchange. He did speak once. It was after Saturday's round. This is Rory's exchange with the assembled media after the U.S. Open's third round on Saturday.
It's much easier being on the cut line when you don't really care if you're here for the weekend or not. I was sort of thinking, do I really want 2 more days here or not? So it makes it easier to play better when you're in that mindset.
So transparent with us and very available. Yesterday was 6 majors in a row, rounds that you kind of stepped away. Has that been part and parcel to the frustration on the golf course? What do you attribute?
No, not really. It's more a frustration with you guys. But
yeah, in what way?
I'm just, I don't know. I mean, I've been totally available for the last few years, and I'm not saying maybe not you guys, but maybe more just the whole thing.
The whole driver thing.
Yeah, part of I mean, that was a part of it. That was a part of it. But it's not as if like at Augusta I skipped you guys on Thursday, so it's not as if it's not out of the ordinary. I've done it before. I'm just doing it a little more often.
Is it part of the
kind of carried the tour with your words for 3 or 4 years now. Do you feel like you've earned a break?
I feel like I've earned the right to do whatever I want to do, yeah.
You have, in relation to that, kind of almost addressed the fact that the tour does not require that kind of thing. It's almost like you're daring them to do so in some way. Is that, in terms of a requirement for other players?
No, I'm not daring them to do anything. I hope they don't change it because it would, it's a nice luxury to have. But I'm just pointing out the fact that we have the ability to do it.
What do you look for tomorrow?
Hopefully a round in under 4.5 hours and get out of here.
Now, he shot 67 in the final round. So I think there's a couple of things at play here. Number one, part of the reason that he has to talk at every event, and he does so, and he did, and even Bake can acknowledge that for years, like he was the one guy that you go to a tournament and we got to hear from Rory, and he would talk pre-round, he'd talk post-round, he'd talk as soon as he got there, he'd do like a press conference like he did at Memorial all those years, and then he would talk after every round. And part of the reason that he's having to do that is because he's having to carry that tour to a certain extent, because there isn't Bryson, there's not Rahm, there's not Koepka, there's not Mickelson, there's not Dustin Johnson. Those guys are all on live. And so Justin Thomas has fallen off a cliff. Jordan Spieth has fallen off a cliff in terms of the PGA Tour doesn't have enough stars that can carry it. They needed him to carry it. So there's fatigue from that, and that I think is probably justified, especially because they do have a rule that not everybody has to talk. So he's having to do it. He had to do it for a lot of years. I think the other thing that happened, though, was by winning the Masters, it was basically his like, okay, I'm good. I've done it. I've completed the career Grand Slam. I don't need you to write nice about me anymore. I can do whatever the hell I want now. And that's kind of the defiance that I think we've seen here. I also think that he's reading a lot of social media.
Oh, he sees everything.
I think there's a little Kevin Durant to this, guys.
Yeah, and he even said it. He's like, I can do whatever I want. And yes, you can. But it also comes with that criticism that you've shown you don't like. And if he's going to have... You can't have it both ways, and I think he's trying to. But I also understand the frustration with him because he carried the water for the PGA for so long, and they did not have his back. In fact, they took the money from the Saudis, whatever whatever that offering was for. I don't even remember why the Saudis. Was it just a? It
was like 2 years ago. Nothing really has come of it.
Threw money they threw money at the PGA, and everybody was suddenly nicer to each other. And Rory probably saw that as a betrayal. And felt, what did I do all this work for? To hell with all of you then.
Bo, you mentioned it that any interaction you've had with him, Rory's the nicest guy, right?
It's been great, yeah.
And I'm sure what we're getting here from him in this statement is just pure honesty. And he's probably a really nice guy, and that's why he's like, well, maybe not you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Just lean in and play full on heel. Just change.
LeBron tried that. He hated it.
Change the mindset here and just go with it and give this I don't give a bleep attitude and make you the best you've ever been to end your career here. Yeah. But I think I think we've gotten from this here, we've gotten a look at the inside the mind of Rory McIlroy, and it's why I've been so hard at him, because he should be, with his game and his ability, he should be on the list with Tiger and Jack and a few others as the greatest ever. And he's there, right? Because he's won the career Grand Slam, and only 6 people have ever done it. But his resume could be so much better if he didn't have this headspace like he does.
Yeah, I think it's a window into the headspace that he has. I think that it probably explains why he struggled in the final round of majors, despite the immense talent. I mean, just remember how nuts that Sunday was at Augusta, that he survived. The most inexplicable chip shot you've ever seen somebody in the final pairing of a major since John Vandeveld. I mean, it just doesn't make – no one does that. And he did it. And somehow still won.
And one of the greatest shots you've ever seen on 15, which may have won it for him.
It might have. Yeah. So he's got a lot going on between the ears. And it's something that all of these guys have to deal with in different ways. But I would just say, throw away the phone, man. That's probably part of it, and then you're not going to see this stuff. I was told that there were 2 trades over the weekend that were blockbuster. I'm going to let you guys tell me if they are or not. We'll do that in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
There's nothing like when you get that part from eBay and it just fits. Yeah, the first time. So you can do less of this and get right back to more of this. At eBay, you'll find all the parts you need, guaranteed to fit, at prices you'll love. Sounds good, doesn't it? eBay, things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Career changers, including veterans and active duty service members. Your transition starts here. Go from GI to IT in a matter of months. Become a certified cyber warrior with training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, offering IT pros great opportunities and a rewarding lifestyle while protecting our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. Deploy your career in IT today. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. SkillBridge and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify.
Trust. It's something we all value, but also something that's hard to earn, especially when it comes to your home. In a city like Columbus with so many contractors to choose from, how do you know who to trust with one of your biggest investments? At Newman Roofing, we believe trust starts with character and continues with consistent results. As a family-owned and operated company, we built our reputation on hiring good people, value-driven professionals who treat your home with the same care and respect they'd give their home. Our team is committed to delivering a true white glove experience. That means paying attention to the details, communicating clearly, and doing the job right the first time. We use only the highest quality products, installed with precision and backed by proven techniques. That's how we ensure you'll feel confident not just today, but for years to come. And we don't just ask you to take our word for it. With over 770 5-star reviews on Google, you can read story after story from homeowners just like you who trusted Newman Roofing and had their expectations exceeded. When it comes to roofing, gutters, or siding, call the local company built around family, values, and integrity. Newman Roofing. Call today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com. Don't just get a new roof, get a Newman roof.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
What's up? What's up, man? What's up with you?
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. For all your roofing, gutter, or siding needs, call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
All right, here's what's up on a Monday. 2 trades, Major League Baseball and the National Basketball Association over the weekend. I was told that they are both blockbusters. The Devers one feels like that to me a little bit more than anything else. So the Red Sox traded Rafael Devers to the Giants. 2 pitchers come back and a couple of prospects come back in return. I saw Simmons tweet this out yesterday, and to me it adds up a little bit in terms of the Fenway Sports Group and everything that they're about. Remember, they own Liverpool as well, among other things. Do they own the Penguins now too? There's several things like in their group that they own. Did they end up buying the Penguins? I think they did. So there's a lot of entities they own, and they owed him a bunch of money going forward. And if they felt like they weren't going anywhere with him, I think I can understand why that deal got done, especially juxtaposed to the Liverpool spending spree over the last couple of weeks. So I wonder if that's what that one is all about. From your guys' perspective as guys who follow baseball much, much closer than I do, does this check out as something that makes sense for the Boston Red Sox to do?
Yeah, it was the winter maybe. They signed Alex Bregman because Devers is a third baseman, and so they signed Bregman, also a third baseman, but I would say more of a star in baseball to get kind of that flashier landing spot. And I think that's where Devers had that was where his issues with management began because they wanted to just be a DH. Now I think he's batting like 250 this season. So I don't know if it's a blockbuster. It's a thing everybody who follows baseball saw coming either now or before at the trade deadline. Like that was going to be happen. There was talk. There was dissatisfaction with Devers with the Red Sox, who yes do own Liverpool and the Pittsburgh Penguins, but it's not blockbuster. I wouldn't at all.
So Devers is a 3-time MVP in the league. He's a
MVP.
Or not MVP, sorry.
An all-star.
All-star. That's
Holy
my bad.
hell, he's Shohei Otani.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, Judge, that's a blockbuster.
I was looking at his MVP voting here. So
I think his third's his best finish.
He's a 279 career hitter. I mean, he's a good player. He was a guy that there was always talks. Could he be a third baseman long term, and would he move to first base? When they signed Bregman, they said Bregman was going to play second base because Bregman's a guy who was a shortstop at LSU and played some shortstop with the Astros when their everyday shortstop got hurt. So he can play a little bit of everywhere, but he's a Gold Glove all-star third baseman. And then when the Red Sox first baseman Bobby Dahlbeck got hurt, they were like, hey, you want to move to first? Help the team. And he was like, no, I'm a third baseman. And he's kind of put that line in the sand the whole time since they've signed Bregman. And It sounds like maybe he hasn't been the best clubhouse guy here.
Okay.
So it was probably an addition by subtraction type thing for the Red Sox. But I don't think this is I don't consider this a blockbuster.
Okay. All right. How about this one?
This is more than this one.
Devers is more than the one I'm about to do?
The NBA one I don't think is a blockbuster.
Okay, so this is the one that really got my attention because I think this is still written it's still written this way on ESPN's home site. Grizzlies send Bane to Magic in blockbuster trade. Okay? So I know who Desmond Bane is. I'm aware. But I don't – this isn't the Memphis Grizzlies trading Pau Gasol to the Lakers. That was a blockbuster. This ain't that. If the Memphis Grizzlies trade Ja Morant, that's a blockbuster. Okay? That, in my view, that to me, that is what defines a blockbuster. So this is Desmond Bane to the Magic, who, hell, half of you guys out there listening probably don't even know who he is if you don't follow the NBA. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Cole Anthony, 4 unprotected first-round picks and 1 first-round pick swap. The 4 unprotected ones makes it seem like it's pretty significant. Memphis getting the 16th overall in 25, 26, unprotected picks in 28 and 30. The pick swap is for 29, which will be lightly protected. I think the other thing about basketball first-round picks, they're finally starting to have their true value, which ain't much unless you're really bad because you're drafting 18-year-olds, so people aren't holding on to these the way that they used to. They're mostly just viewed as trade currency more than anything else because so many of these guys are absolute sure things. So when I read this, and I read Grizzlies send Bane to Magic and blockbuster trade, this is one of those things where my ears perk up when I read something like that because I say, you're writing that headline because you're in business of the NBA. And you're trying to make us believe, you're setting an agenda that this was some sort of massive power shift in the NBA.
Just ignore Stephen A. playing solitaire at the NBA Finals.
Well, we'll get to that. I just, to me, I'm like, what does this change? I mean, to me, like, this is not the definition of a blockbuster. The Grizzlies have done blockbuster trades before. They traded Pau Gasol. That's a blockbuster trade. This, to me, doesn't feel like it. I could be wrong, but it doesn't feel like it to me.
So I do think this trade helps the Orlando Magic a lot because with Paulo Banchero and the Wagners, and they've had a team that's been right there. This will help them. When I first heard this and you hear 5 first-round picks with the one being a swap, that seems like the blockbuster to me, but as you mentioned, first-round picks don't really mean anything in the NBA anymore. I remember 2 years ago when Desmond Bane, and I don't think it was a super max contract, but he signed a max deal for like $238 million or something like that. Yeah. Everybody was like, how in the world can you give that much to this guy? And now you're saying it's a blockbuster?
Well, because they have to, right? There's money that they have to spend. He's not even an all-star. He's never made an all-star game. So, I'm sorry. That can't be a blockbuster. I mean, that just can't be.
Neither.
No, he'll be a nice role player for the Magic, but this is definitely not the definition of a blockbuster. You mentioned Stephen A. Let's do that real quickly here. Do you have a problem with him playing solitaire in the middle of an NBA Finals game on his phone?
Only because he's supposed to be their NBA guy, and it's during game action, and he tried to say it was during a timeout. And this is where Elon's app does a wonderful job with the community notes, because other videos showed actual basketball being played while he was trying to figure out where to put the Queen of Hearts. And if, again, you don't care or your biggest NBA guy doesn't care, why the hell should anybody else care about this? Like, if this was the Knicks, he wouldn't be playing solitaire during it. And he's going to come on Monday. He's going to make this all about him. And he's going to tell you he was locked into the NBA Finals when there's actual video footage of him being locked into something else during the NBA Finals. Like, normal people can do this. Like, I had my computer on during Game 4 on Friday night. He cannot.
So I don't know this story.
So there's a screen grab of him at Game 4 of the NBA Finals playing solitaire while the game is going on. Because their studios, their setup is in like the stands, kind of. So somebody screenshot it, took a photo of him from above, and he was playing solitaire while the game is going on. Do you know why he can do this?
Because it's people talking about him, and that's all ESPN. That's ESPN's paramount issue for Stephen A. Get people talking about you.
Absolutely. But also, because when he's doing halftime or he's doing end of game, he's not going, this stretch in the third quarter is what flipped it. Because the gross many of you out there aren't looking for that. You're not looking for this 3-possession swing in the third quarter is the reason that Oklahoma City won the game. What you're looking for is big picture. We paint with paintbrushes that you use to paint a house now, like a roller. That's how you do sports talk now. Just big, bold things. No one's coming on. He's not coming on and talking about a substitution pattern that Rick Carlisle made in the third to change things out. You know why? Because you all go glossy-eyed on it. You can't do it. The best show for breaking down tape that there is Edge NFL Matchup. The one that used to be produced by, it still is, produced by NFL Films that Cosell does. Like, if you really want to get smarter on the National Football League, throw all of the rest of the pregame halftime shows away and watch Edge NFL Matchup, and you will see what is actually happening on the football field. But you know what? No one watches it. It's on 8 o'clock in the morning because you don't crave that. What you crave is, and there's data to back this up, what Get Up's doing this morning, which is, what is Get Up doing this morning? What is Dak Prescott's legacy? That's what they're doing. So the reason he can get away with it is, one, to Reese's point, everybody's talking about him, that wins. Two, we're so accustomed to hearing his voice that there's a comfort that comes with that. And most importantly, three, he doesn't need to watch all of it. He needs the broad strokes to do his job now. That's just the truth. There aren't many people that break it down that way anymore because it's not something that folks are that interested in. And the data backs that up, fair or not. That's kind of where we are. Speaking of the NBA, why did they not play last night? So crazy. So they're playing tonight. NHL is playing tomorrow. Marchand, of course. Lots to get to on that side of things. We'll get to it in a couple of minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Unlike your deadbeat uncle, we'll never leave you stranded in a ditch when you were 6. This promo may have been a touch too specific. The Fan.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Guys, give Dad the extra boost of health and energy he needs to live his best life. Low T Center is offering free weight loss consultations and free T tests as a special offer celebrating dads. Treatment is personalized and most major insurance is accepted. They'll have the freedom to choose in-center care or at-home treatment. You're helping put Dad back in control of his health. Now until the 21st, enjoy a free B12 shot when you stop in for TRT and weight loss. Offer limited. Book now at fixmylowt.com. Fixmylowt.com.
It's been a great run. Care Heating and Cooling has achieved goals I could only imagine 30 years ago. But now it's time for the next generation to take over. This is Mike Weens, now the retired founder of Care Heating and Cooling with my sons, Dennis and Ryan.
Dad, as Care grew over the years, you had many opportunities to sell Care to one of the big conglomerates that are buying companies all over Central Ohio. So tell our customers why you decided to keep Care in the family.
After talking about Care's values for over 30 years, I couldn't bear the thought of Care becoming the kind of company I was warning our customers about. I know the two of you will continue to treat our customers as I would, with honesty and integrity.
We will, Dad. In 2024, CARE was awarded a BBB Torch Award for Ethics and was named the Lennox Partner of the Year. You don't earn those awards by leaving cat toys behind.
Call Care Heating and Cooling at 1-800-COOLING or schedule an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com. When you need a company you can trust.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Summer's heating up, and so are the deals at Germain Toyota of Columbus. Whether you're cruising to the lake or hauling your weekend gear, Germain, well, they've got the truck to help you get it done. Right now, get 2.99 APR for up to 72 months on the rugged 2024 Tacoma, or step up to the powerful 2025 Tundra, also 2.99 for 72 months. These summer savings, they won't last forever. So visit Germain Toyota on the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road, or online at germaintoyota.net.
A healthy body needs good food. This summer, the Ohio Department of Education and Workforce is sponsoring Sun Meals, a summer food program where kids eat free. Children under 18 receive healthy meals and no sign-up is required. Locations may be right in your neighborhood. Call 1-866-348-6479 or visit education.ohio.gov/kidseat for meal locations and times. That's education.ohio.gov/kidseat.
The Buckeyes are national champions. And you listen to it all right here on The Fan. And next year when they do it again, it'll be here on The Fan. And the year after that, well, you know the drill. Always and forever, your home of the Buckeyes. The Fan.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, U.S. Tax Shield can help you take back control. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Our team of tax attorneys can stop collections and get you protected. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the BBB, so call 800-494-6139. U.S. Tax Shield, 800-494-6139.
Every great team has its core players, but when the season gets tough, adding the right free agent can make all the difference. The same goes for business. At Robert Half, we found that 67% of companies surveyed plan to increase their use of contract talent to handle workload peaks and backlogged projects. With Robert Half's specialized recruiters' experience, combined with our award-winning AI, you can quickly find the skilled candidates you want. At Robert Half, we know talent. Discover how we can help at roberthalf.com/talent.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Weston Air Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
First Friday miracles are always better with Uncle Bo. This is Bishop and Friends.
Really felt like Edmonton had to score first. We said that coming out of heading into Game 5 up there, that if they scored first, there would be a relief of tension and they would be able to settle in and maybe find their game a little bit. They did not score first. They were down 2-0 after the first period. That went into the third. They did cut it to 3-1 on a McDavid goal, and you said, okay, so you're saying there's a chance. And then Florida responded right back. And Marchand, I mean, like this... what is the equivalent of him? What is Brad Marchand in other sports?
Draymond Green.
I like it.
Yeah, Draymond's a good one. I think Brad Marchand's even better, though. He's a better player.
He's so clutch. He's just omnipresent.
Probably Ray Lewis.
I was thinking maybe Bill Romanowski. When Bill Romanowski was at his heyday.
Was he? So he's a 4-time All-Star. You might have it with Draymond, honestly. I bet that might be kind of similar. I bet Draymond might actually have more All-Stars.
Pedro Martinez. Yeah, Martinez was one of the best.
He's one of the best, yeah. Draymond's a 4-time All-Star, too. So that might be the one. That might be a good job of you, Reese. That might be the one that does it.
Because the one thing you hear with Marchand is you hate him, but you would have him on your team in a heartbeat.
Yes.
I've said it for a decade. He's the one player I want on the Blue Jackets.
Yeah,
I know people hate it, but...
You wouldn't if he was here.
No, you'd love it, because you'd love the winning that would come with it, because everywhere he's gone, he's won.
The one thing the Blue Jackets have never had in their history is a top-line pest. And the closest you got to that were guys like Dubinsky and Foligno and Hartnell that were like second-line pests. Mm-hmm. You've never had a top-line pest. He's the guy that the Jackets have needed forever.
How many of those are there, though? Top-line pest.
I think in the history of the league there has
even
been.
Right now, like there aren't that many. There aren't many like him. There's that type of talent and they're just when it comes to clutch, he's just always there.
But I guess and I guess when I say that, you don't have to take it to the Marchand way.
Yeah.
But Crosby gets a lot of people complain about Crosby. They say he's a whiner and he wants calls, but he's a pretty chippy player. He'll go at people. He'll go after them. You got to have that edge to you.
Yeah. And he's got it in spades. There's no chance they win. They're going to go back to Skinner. Have we seen anything on that?
Last I heard, they were undecided. But that whole series, and I thought Florida was going to win always, Bo. Yeah. That whole series to me was over on the play when Sam Bennett hit the guy at open ice, then hit the guy along the wall, and then took off down ice and got the breakaway goal to put them up 2-1 in that game before the last one there. And I was like, this is over. Like, if Bennett can do that, he just took their soul. And then you saw Edmonton after that try to fight and be chippy and do stuff after the whistle and whatnot. It's like they're in their heads. It's over.
Yeah. So Game 6 is tomorrow in Florida. I'd be shocked if the Panthers don't hang the banner tomorrow. I think it'd be quite stunning. The travel in that series is absolutely nuts as well, that they just had a day in between playing Thursday night in Florida and then playing in Edmonton on Saturday. NBA goes tonight. I have no idea why NBA didn't go Sunday. So they played Friday night. Oklahoma City and Indiana did, and then they were off and are playing again tonight as opposed to Sunday, which is so strange to me that they wouldn't take advantage of the Sunday night, but they don't. I think, quite honestly, real quick on that series, I think Indiana blew it. I think they were right there to go up 3-1 and blew it, and now it's hard for me to see them winning two games in Oklahoma, or winning a game in Oklahoma City, and they're going to have to do that to try to win the series, is win a game there. So I think they blew it a little bit.
I was talking with Tim Alcorn, who we've had on the show before, that's the radio voice of the Cleveland Cavaliers this weekend. And he was talking about how surprised he was that nobody was talking about Indiana with the run that they had after the All-Star break into the playoffs. And he was just talking about how such a good team Indiana is, and people were overlooking them, and they shouldn't have. And obviously he's somebody who does it every day and sees them and pays attention to it. But I just thought it was interesting hearing his perspective on the Pacers and just how good he thinks they are. And he thinks they will end up winning this series.
Well, Reese and I talked about that when we saw the draw for the Cavs.
Yeah, I was wondering, I was thinking to myself, like, a lot of people have been talking about this Pacers squad, but it is, I think, a great matchup for both teams that can punch and counterpunch so well, because you saw what OKC did to the Thunder, or what OKC did to the Pacers late in Game 4 on Friday. Was a lot of times what the Pacers did to other teams, what they had done to Oklahoma City earlier in the series. But then Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, the MVP of the league, has like 15 of his final 35 in that last quarter, and they hold him to like 17 points. So I think this does go 7, and I think that's the best thing for the NBA, but I think it is the Thunder in 7 that win it.
Yes. Yeah, I'm with you on that. That seems on point. You know what was a cool thing, and it was raining on Saturday, so we were kind of stuck for a little bit, and all because of social media, I popped in and watched Caitlin Clark go for 25.5 against New York. So apparently New York hadn't lost. I don't follow WNBA much, but it was one of those instances where I saw something going nuts on social and I found it. She had 25.5, finished with 32. She's shooting from just past half court. She has changed. She will change the way that game is played, the way that Steph Curry changed the way men's basketball is played. What Steph did for men's basketball is he encouraged kids to shoot not at the line, but beyond the line, well past the line. And you have kids who regularly, by 5th grade, and certainly by the time they get into middle school, who shoot 2 and 3 feet behind the 3-point line regularly. Like, that's their range. They've taught themselves to do that, and she will have that she's revolutionary in terms of women's basketball and the way that it's played, the way that she plays the game. She was incredible in the first half on Saturday in a game that they ended up winning. Second hour of the program up next. Austin Ward going to stop by at 10:30. Ravens, the last of the AFC North teams to minicamp. They will do it this week. What did we learn around the division that we pay most attention to? Coming up next, Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
Question from a listener: do you dopes ever get tired of talking about Ohio State? No. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
The Fan.
Men, summertime is here, and that means vacations, summer barbecues, outdoor parties, camping, beaches, and so much more. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, and if you're like many men, you may not be feeling like yourself this summer. Perhaps your energy is low and you aren't sleeping well. Maybe your workouts aren't as good as they used to be. And if what I'm describing is you, it's very likely you're suffering with low testosterone. But low T doesn't have to affect you anymore. Just call Tri-State Men's Health, get treated, and see how it changes your life. If you're like most men, you'll feel so much better. Deeper sleep, improved vitality and clarity, greater strength and energy, and an enhanced sex drive as well. And because we are so confident in the efficacy of our low T treatment protocols, for a limited time, we are offering you a free first appointment, which includes blood work and a medical consult. Call 800-900-9654. That's 800-900-9654. Or go to tristatemenshealth.com. That's tristatemenshealth.com. We have 6 offices across the tri-state area to serve you.
I'm back to doing what I love and more, thanks to the Good Feet store.
Don't let bad feet stop you from being active and getting healthy this year. Trade in your bad feet for good feet at the Good Feet store.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Guys, listen up. How many of you out there have been diagnosed with sleep apnea? Maybe your partner can't tolerate your snoring every night. You can't stand your CPAP machine. I totally get it. But the good news is there are alternatives to the CPAP machine. And Dr. Mark Levy is here to change your sleep and your life. Trust me, your spouse will thank you later. Dr. Mark Levy can customize an oral appliance that opens your airways, helps you breathe better, and of course, stops your snoring. That's the main point. It's quick and comfortable and an alternative to those bulky, loud CPAP machines you always hear about. For over 15 years, Dr. Mark Levy has led the way when it comes to treating snoring and sleep apnea, and now he's expanding his practice to better serve his patients with a brand new location in Marysville. I love Marysville. If you're snoring and not sleeping, you need to call Dr. Mark Levy's office today. Do not delay. Schedule your appointment today with Dr. Mark Levy at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. That's 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. You can also visit him online at sleepbettercolumbus.com. And now, sleepbettermarysville.com too.
This just in from the Lindsay Honda Newsroom. It's our big anniversary sale. 0% for up to 60 months has been extended on all new Hondas. Try the new 2025 CR-V LX all-wheel drive with 0% financing.
Lower your rate, lower your payment.
Save thousands on hundreds of new Hondas when you buy now.
With so many Hondas, why would you go anywhere else?
Shop the big, the beautiful Lindsay Honda now. Visit lindsayhonda.com for details.
Many drugs, like cocaine, methamphetamine, and non-prescription pills, are often cut with dangerous opioids like fentanyl. As a result, nearly 14 Ohioans die daily from unintentional overdoses. That's why it's important to carry naloxone, such as Narcan, a life-saving medication that blocks the effects of fentanyl and other opioids. Over the last 5 years, naloxone has saved over 83,000 lives. Help save lives and visit naloxone.ohio.gov to learn more and find free naloxone. Remember, if you see an overdose occurring, always call 911.
With rates as low as 5.54% APR and a $400 cash bonus when you refinance with BMI Federal Credit Union, now is the perfect time to take advantage of the BMI FCU Summer Savings Event. Visit bmifcu.org/refinance for more details.
Road trip! This summer at Tire Discounters, your tires are your passport to savings, because you're driving to Paris,
Texas,
then it's off to Rome,
Georgia,
and you'll be kissing the Blarney Stone in Dublin,
Ohio!
Right now, save up to $434 when you buy 4 tires, and that includes a free alignment and oil change. Stop at Tire Discounters before you see the world.
Evan Cohen here. Whether you're locking in your home run picks or riding with your favorite golfers this summer, ESPN Bet is your sportsbook for all the action. Go from checking stats on your favorite teams and players to placing bets in just a few taps. Plus, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York. Picture this. You're staying at a hotel about to take an important video call, but the Wi-Fi is slower than 1997 dial-up. You struggle with your phone's hotspot as clients complain about your connection. These stressful situations don't have to happen. When you book a room at La Quinta by Windham, you get free high-speed Wi-Fi to handle critical emails, join meetings on time, and even unwind with your favorite shows. No more worrying about spotty connections. Enjoy stress-free stays with reliable Wi-Fi. Tonight, La Quinta, tomorrow you shine. Book direct at lq.com.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. JJ Spawn captured the U.S. Open over the weekend. His long birdie putt on 18 made him the only golfer in the field to finish under par for the weekend. The 34-year-old Spawn was 1 under through 4 rounds at Oakmont. Robert McIntyre was 2 shots back at 1 over par. The British Open is golf's next major. That's next month at Royal Portrush. That's in Northern Ireland. In baseball, the Reds took 2 of 3 over the weekend from the Tigers in Detroit. Cincinnati won Sunday 8-4. Ellie De La Cruz drove in 3 runs in the win. Reds are off Monday. They'll host the Twins Tuesday. The Guardians were swept by the Mariners in 3 games over the weekend in Seattle. And the NBA Finals continue tonight with Game 5 in Oklahoma City. The Thunder and Pacers are tied at 2 games apiece. Tip-offs at 8 o'clock. You can hear it right here on The Fan. This update sponsored by BMI Federal Credit Union. Swimming in debt with rates as low as 8.99% APR. Save your summer with a debt consolidation loan. Visit bmifcu.org/consolidate.
Putting up with Dom Tiberi for a decade, the broadcast gods gave Bo these 2. This is Bishop and Friends.
Our good friends at Barrett Sports Media with this, passing along that ESPN has announced they're doing 50 states, 50 days all summer. I don't know if they're taking SportsCenter on the road or what exactly they're doing, but I'm always curious. Yeah, 50 states, 50 days. So I'm always curious what they're choosing for us. What do you think is on the bingo card for their 1 day in Ohio this summer? Here's the hint. We'll be there too.
Oh, they're going to Ohio State's camp. Ohio State football camp last week in July.
Yeah, so they'll be July 31st. They're actually doing the Buckeye State twice over. You're going to get Ohio State training camp, which we will be at, and then they will be at the NFL Hall of Fame game that same night. So we'll be out at camp on that Thursday, and then that night is the Hall of Fame game. You start doing, I don't know, man, maybe just when I get old, you start doing the math on how quickly this is all going to go. It ain't great, boys. We're gonna blink, and you love the football, you love it, but my God, you're gonna blink, and we're gonna be sitting there at Buckeye camp on that Thursday. We're there Thursday, Friday, both, right?
Yep, we'll have shows. Yeah, Thursday, Friday, Saturday night again. No, that just Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Yeah. So it's awesome. I mean, it's a lot of fun, but it's pretty crazy when you start to think about how quickly this is all going to go.
Don't think about it. Summer never ends.
I think it's a bummer they don't make a trip up to Cleveland, too, for the 4-horse race at quarterback. Check that out a little bit.
Well, I wonder if they might be. Yeah, they're at the NFL Hall of Fame game probably, so that's probably the way that's going to go. I'm pleased to report that they're going to the Big Sky Country State Fair in Montana on Monday, July 21st. Now, the Montana State Fair is in Great Falls, Montana, which is where I'm from. Big Sky Country State Fair didn't even exist when I was a kid. It's out of Bozeman. So, of course, Bozeman is going to get a little more gloss for Bozeman. Bozeman's great, but it gets a lot of love at this point. So you mentioned the 4-quarterback race in Cleveland with the Browns. They concluded minicamp last week up in Berea. The Steelers concluded minicamp last week as well, as did the Cincinnati Bengals. The Baltimore Ravens are minicamping this week. I think this is way too late. There's one other team that's this week too. When you are around coaches especially, and this is going to fall on deaf ears to everybody at Ohio State because they're spending their summer recruiting is basically what they're doing. Every weekend is a monster recruiting weekend. But the idea that I remember when the Browns broke last week and Stefanski said we got 40 days off is what it amounts to, is those 40 days. And for NFL, this is the biggest difference, honestly, between NFL coaching and college coaching right now. The NFL truly has 40 days off if they want it. Now, they won't take it. They'll be around, and they'll probably do a 2-week vacation here or there. But if you wanted to, you could take a 2-week vacation or a 40-day vacation in the NFL. You could really do it because they don't have to come back until end of July. Meantime, college football gets about 5 days is the way that it goes. The Ravens kind of cutting into that and going this week. They are ready made. I think Baltimore and Buffalo have the most pressure in the National Football League to win right now. I know we've talked about that a lot, but those two teams have got to go. They still have quarterbacks in their prime though, so it's possible that you get more bites at this apple as you go down the road. But as currently constructed, those two teams have to go right now to go win it. So it'll be interesting to see what comes out of Baltimore this week at minicamp. One of the things that happened last week at minicamp was just the dysfunction in Cincinnati, whether it was Shamar Stewart, Trey Hendrickson absence, just bad news in what shouldn't have been a bad news camp. It should have been a very good news camp. They re-signed their guys. They kept Higgins. They re-signed Chase. They got all of those things done, and instead it was kind of overshadowed by the Shamar Stewart thing. Well, Jeremy Fowler over the weekend reported that the Bengals front office and Trey Hendrickson have resumed contracts talks, calling it, quote, a step in the right direction. This is the last year that he's under contract with the Bengals. Obviously led the NFL with 17.5 sacks last season. He's set to make just 18.6. He's not going to get anywhere near Miles over 40. That's what Jamar's at too. But I could see him getting a shorter contract with a big bump into the mid 30s pretty easily. And if you're Cincinnati, you have to do that. You have to have him, especially now with the Stewart thing. So from a Bengals fan perspective, this was good news over the weekend that you saw that they're at least working at it. And I think we all kind of thought that they would.
Yeah, and I still fully expect both of them to be dealt with contract-wise before they play the Browns week 1. But you didn't want this to go into training camp because you can't do anything you can do to avoid a slow start or anything you can do to avoid a hiccup in your regular season, you've got to address now. And it does sound, per Fowler's reporting, they're doing it with Hendrickson. The thing with Stewart is you drafted him to be Hendrickson's replacement. You drafted him to help mitigate the loss of Sam Hubbard. And so you're kind of messing with contracts for the two guys who play the most important position defensively, a spot you're not good at. Defensively for the Bengals, they're not good. Like, they were bad last year. They dismissed Lou Anarumo and bring in Al Golden. Still haven't fixed a whole lot of other issues, and you're messing with your best player on that side of the ball. Like, it's an ambitious ask if you want to say, okay, Joe Burrow, you got to score 5 touchdowns every single game. He could, but what, are you going to put all your eggs in that basket? That's what the Bengals are doing.
I like that you mentioned Joe Burrow there because we played last week on this show his comments about this being a distraction, right? And with before, when Joe Burrow has come out and said, man, I hope we get all these guys under contract, things started happening and the ball started rolling. I wonder if talks have resumed because Joe Burrow has spoken.
Well, no one wields more power. There's no question. I mean, now we've also seen, remember Mike Brown in that trench coat, driving his golf cart over and getting Joe Burrow to come over in the middle of practice and talk to him. So there's still that kind of old school way of running it. If you're a Bengals fan and I were to give you, this is such a tricky one because you say we've got Burrow, we've got to win a Super Bowl. Well, we have Burrow. But this feels like, and he has more injury than the guy I'm about to name, but this very much mirrors the start for Dan Marino in Miami. And get that Super Bowl appearance early. Now, they got bombed in '84 by the 49ers, but get that, and the Bengals did not get bombed. In fact, I thought they were going to win. Felt like Burrow would take them down there to win. But it does have the way that they're made up, the way that they're built. And then towards the end of Marino's career, then they tried pivoting, and they were going to try to have the run game and defense with Zach Thomas and all of that. They brought in Jimmy Johnson. Never really got close again. But I'm guessing I guess the one way to look at it is it's a pretty good fear if your fear is that you're going to sign up for Dan Marino's career and you're going to get a bunch of bites at the apple and watch a lot of exciting football. But the problem is in the middle of it, you say, God, if we don't win a Super Bowl, this thing's a total waste. But it's going to be a lot of enjoying football for them for 15 years, more likely than not.
A ton of good football, if that's the case. You're right. But I also have a feeling like for that team and those guys, I don't think we talked a lot about Dan Marino, about the best to never win one at the end of his career. But, man, the noise and the outside chatter and pressure is going to be at an all-time high as you go on. I'm just curious now that we stumbled into this. This is the quarterback record for Marino with the Dolphins. So 7-2 year one as a rookie. Year two is when he goes nuts. He wins the MVP in year two. They play for the Super Bowl in year two. He throws for 5,000 yards, 48 touchdowns, 17 picks. No one even really got close to that again. They went 14-2 in year two, 12-4, 8-8, 7-5, 6-10, 8-8. So they went 4 seasons where they didn't make the postseason. Then 12-4. Then 8-8, 11-5. Now we're into the 90s. 4-1 injury-shortened season in '93. 10-6, 9-5, 7-6, 9-7, 10-6, 5-6. Would you sign up? Do you sign up for that?
Yes.
That's pretty good. No Super Bowl, but you're not entitled to those either.
Yeah, I think you do because the alternative is just so awful. Right? Like as a fan, like the alternative then you become the Browns and man, draft day is our Super Bowl.
Well, otherwise you're just here's what you're signing up for. You're signing up for being relevant for 16 years. And you're signing up for walking into every training camp in every September and saying, we've got a chance.
Everything's exciting. Training camp, OTAs, the draft, the regular season. You know you're getting into the postseason. You're at least going to be in that in the hunt graphic through December.
Yes.
The top of the year is exciting. Yeah. I think the only fan base that you might hear maybe no would be Dallas Cowboys, but I think they live in a different plane of reality.
And probably Pittsburgh, who we're going to talk about next.
Yes, they're in it.
They're in this spot is where they are, and they want rings and they want banners and they want all of those things. So I think all of those things factor in certainly on that side of things. Speaking of the Steelers, they got Aaron Rodgers. They have Will Howard. This is a pretty good plan going forward. Trust me on this. We'll get to it coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
We have so many local shows, I can't fit them in a 10-second promo. So let's just say we're live and local all damn day. The Fan.
Check it.
Keno Double Booster is back every Monday in June. For all Keno tickets with Booster purchased between 3 and 5 o'clock, the Booster will be double.
Check it.
Your winnings could be boosted by as much as 20 times. Don't miss out. Get your Keno ticket with Booster every Monday from 3 to 5 o'clock.
Cool.
Lottery players are subject to commission laws and regulations. Play responsibly.
Check it.
Working your way through that honey-do list? That means more flushes, more showers, more fiddling with the thermostat. Trust the pros at the Waterworks with your plumbing and drain cleanings and repairs and all your heating and cooling needs. Our certified pros can repair or replace your furnace or air conditioner. Clogs? Call the Waterworks. Drain cleaning? Call the Waterworks. Plumbing issues? Call the Waterworks. Furnace repairs? Call the Waterworks. The Waterworks. Trusted neighborhood plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling experts.
Bobcat Enterprises says thank you for your support as they celebrate 50 years of serving the construction industry. Established in 1975 in Cincinnati, Bobcat Enterprises has expanded to 9 stores to meet you where you are in Ohio, Kentucky, and Indiana. Find equipment for any construction project, including compact track loaders and excavators. Plus, Bobcat Enterprises rents compact equipment and attachments. Find current specials and locations at bobcatent.com or follow Bobcat Enterprises Inc. on Facebook. Bobcat Enterprises, 50 years working for you.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, and it's no surprise. Same game parlay from Bet365 just keeps getting better.
Well, it's even easier to make a bet. Choose from the most popular markets like hits, run line, totals, and home runs. So many to choose from.
Download the app, start building your bet, and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. T&Cs apply.
We've discovered the perfect morning ritual, the 2 for $6 breakfast sandwich deal at Tim Hortons. Every sandwich is made to order with a freshly cracked egg and melty cheese, just the way breakfast should be. Choose between savory sausage or hickory smoked bacon, served on a toasted English muffin or flaky biscuit. There's no wrong way to mix and match this tasty deal. 2 breakfast sandwiches, just $6. Perfect. Only at your neighborhood Tim Hortons. At participating U.S. restaurants, single item at regular menu price. Modifications and tax extra. Exclusions and additional terms apply.
This just in from the Lindsay Honda Newsroom. It's our big anniversary sale. 0% for up to 60 months has been extended on all new Hondas. Try the new 2025 CR-V LX all-wheel drive with 0% financing.
Lower your rate, lower your payment.
Save thousands on hundreds of new Hondas when you buy now.
With so many Hondas, why would you go anywhere else?
Shop the big, the beautiful Lindsay Honda now. Visit lindsayhonda.com for details.
Hi, here are some ways to listen to The Fan. You can download the Fan app, or listen at home on your smart speaker, or open up the iHeartRadio app, or hold your head out the window and hear Common Man scream. Happy listening from the Dopes at The Fan.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty. Do you want to sell your property, however, you need a little help getting through the process? Let's say you have years of belongings in the home. It needs a lot of updating, you're overwhelmed, and you may need help finding a place to go. I will help you. Visit us today at TurboTrackRealty.com or call me now for an all-cash offer and, more importantly, the help you need at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Got a teen athlete? Then you know putting in the hours is all part of the game. But did you know the same goes for learning how to drive? Because just like playing a sport, learning to drive takes practice. The only difference is the stakes are even higher. 50 hours of practice time driving with you? Worth every minute. Gear up at teachyourteentodrive.ohio.gov.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We'll see mostly cloudy skies today with peaks of sun here and there. Afternoon highs getting into the low 80s, and it will be humid. But we will see chances of showers and thunderstorms develop in the afternoon to early evening, although a little bit more spread out. Overnight lows tonight down into the 60s with better chances of showers and storms overnight. For The Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with your 10 weather impact forecast.
We're your radio home for the Buckeyes, Browns, and all the NFL games you can handle. We may have a bit of a football problem. Oh, yeah? The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Pull up a stool and ask the bartender for something neat, because Uncle Bo is on the radio. This is Bishop and Friends.
Do you think Will Howard will be a starting quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers for multiple years?
Right now, I'll say yes.
Dake, what's your gut?
I don't believe so.
It's set up for that. If he's good enough, it's set up for it, because they're going to get 1 year of Rodgers, and feels like that's it. I suppose theoretically they could do 2 years of Rodgers. I mean, he's got a 1 year contract, but if it goes well and he enjoys it, there's no reason to. I mean, Brady played to 45. He hasn't said like this is my final year. I don't know if he's someone who would want to go on like a quarterback free agent tour maybe he would. Maybe he would like everything that comes with that, and maybe he would. But it feels like it's set up for Howard to be potentially a decent solution for them. I'm admittedly gun shy when it comes to Ohio State quarterbacks. I have a hard time analyzing them because of things that we've talked about before in terms of the scheme that they play in and the receiving talent that they have makes it hard to tell what is going to translate to the NFL and what is not. Justin Fields, and I don't think it's all on him. A lot of it is the circumstance in Chicago, but I would have bet anything that Justin Fields would have the career that Jalen Hurts is having. And maybe he would have if he wasn't drafted to Chicago. It could have just been that circumstance. I don't know. But it's weird to me that Fields has not had that type of success. It's weird to me that last year Pittsburgh got their hands on him and they chose to move off of him and go to Russell Wilson. That's odd to me because we saw him in person and he looked like someone who would translate very well to the NFL. I have no idea why he has not had that type of success that Hurts had. Some of it could be Chicago, but some of it has to fall on him too. It has to.
Yeah, I agree with that. I do think it's one of the greatest what ifs, right? Like, where would Justin Fields be now if the 49ers had selected him with that third pick instead of taking Trey Lance?
The 49ers could have just stayed where they were, given up nothing, and picked him. Right? Because didn't they give up to move up to 3 to take Lance?
Yeah, they did. That huge trade with Miami.
Yeah, so they probably could have just stayed where they were, take Justin Fields, and we'll see why it goes. But there was something, I know this for a fact, that Kyle, he was not one of Kyle's guys at all. The two that Kyle liked, and maybe this speaks to where football coaches aren't necessarily good at draft analysis, the two he liked were Trey Lance and Mac Jones. That's true. That part is all true. Like, he did not like Fields at all. There's something with Fields that those type, I think what's bothersome, the best I can kind of put together with Fields is those coordinators who want you to flip your head and turn your head to the defense, flip it around and throw it to a spot, he doesn't like to play that way. And so what gives him success is the ability to make things up out of nothing and extend the pocket.
Improvise.
Yeah, they don't want that. They want you to turn your head and throw it here because we've schemed it open. And this is all part of a bigger play. So because of the way that it went for Justin early, I wasn't as hot on C.J. Stroud, despite what our eyes told us, that this should be someone who translates. And C.J. has a little bit of a down year last year, but my hunch is he'll bounce back from that. So here's the thing with Will. It seems to me in the right circumstances that he could be an NFL quarterback at a starting level. I think minimum he feels like a 12-year in the league guy. I see no scenario how he's not Colt McCoy, Chase Daniel at the worst, Reese.
What I think it makes it easier to kind of prognosticate Will in Pittsburgh is the lack of Steelers plan at quarterback for the past 7-8 seasons.
Since Roethlisberger.
Because Rodgers is on a one-year deal. Who knows how that's going to go, but Pittsburgh's never going to be bad enough to be in the Arch Manning or Carson Beck or whomever's going to come out of this quarterback class sweepstakes. Like, they're never going to be in the top 5. They're never going to be in likely the top 10 to get that generational quarterback via the draft. So it does for me. I mean, you look at Mason Rudolph. Skylar Thompson's the other guy, but Mason Rudolph's been a starting quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers, not over over a couple of seasons in totality, but why can't that be Will as well there? Because after Rodgers this year, it's a big question mark. After a potential Rodgers second year, if they agree to another contract, it's still a question mark.
Will does seem like, and we've said this before on this show, the only thing he doesn't have that like a Terry Bradshaw or a Ben Roethlisberger had is that big, strong arm.
Yeah.
But everything else, the leadership, the likability, the big size, 6'4", 225, 230 pounds, a little bit of mobility, can extend plays. Everything else other than that big arm are the traits of guys that have had success in Pittsburgh.
He's very similar to Ryan Tannehill, who Arthur Smith had success with in Tennessee. A lot of similarities between him and Tannehill. Tannehill probably has a little better arm, but very similar size and ability to improvise. And you're right. You guys are right. On the leadership standpoint, it's there in spades. Like, people will follow him. I mean, look what he did here in 1 year and getting that team of veterans to get on board with him. He had a availability last week in Pittsburgh before they closed out minicamp. Here is Will on the excitement to get on the field.
Excitement. I try not to get nervous. I think anxious, is a better word. I would say, I'm just excited to get up there and ready to get after it. I feel like we've been getting a good groove here, working for the last month and a half here, and now, we get some time for ourselves, and then we get to go right up there and get back to business. But, I'm going to be sharpening my tools and continuing to stay sharp on things, and can't wait to get up there.
It's one of those things, too, when we mentioned this last week with Rodgers, and Rodgers had some comments about Will, and we're going to play some comments from Will about Rodgers. I haven't seen anything negative from Jordan Love towards Rodgers. So it feels like he's someone who's willing to help. And if you watched Hard Knocks, you saw that even with Zach Wilson, that he was kind of willing to help him. Here is Howard on his interactions with Aaron Rodgers.
They've been awesome. He's a great mentor. Has already, treated me with with the utmost respect and you know, just been really good to me, you know, and a guy like that, he doesn't have to do that, you know, so I really just appreciate him being willing to kind of take me under his wing a little bit and give me pointers and tips here and there, and there's already some things that he's said to me that have already helped me, you know, and so I'm just excited to learn as much as I can from that guy and take everything that he says and try and put it in the bank, you know, and just continue to learn every single day and get better, because that's what being a rookie's about.
One of those things, too, obviously, when you're Will Howard, you've grown up watching Aaron Rodgers, and he has some memories on that. Here's Will on that.
Remember him winning the Super Bowl in what was that, 2010? Yeah, I was 9 years old. I remember watching that. I remember seeing him up there with the car after they won the game. Like, I vividly remember that, you know, so I mean, I've watched him my whole life, man. It's surreal to be in a room with a guy that is as seasoned and as much of a veteran as he is, so it's exciting.
Yeah, I like this spot for him. I do. I like the stability. All of these guys, you think about Will, this is what's going to make preseason football a lot of fun for us. You're going to have this situation in Will where he's going to get probably the majority of the snaps. Like, you don't need to see Mason Rudolph do anything if you're Pittsburgh. You know exactly who is. You don't need Skylar Thompson do anything. Like, if Rodgers wants to play preseason, then he'll play a series, and then I'm guessing it'll be Will for 3 preseason games. So you're going to get a heavy dose of him in preseason football. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And this situation in Cleveland is going to be a lot of fun because you're going to have 2 rookies who got to play a lot. You have another young guy in Pickett who has got to play a lot. The other part you have up there is you have 2 joint practices. You have one with Philly and you have one with Carolina, and the fight to get snaps in those is going to be critical. That's where Pittsburgh will do a joint practice. I'm not sure who theirs are. I haven't looked at their schedule, their practice schedule. They're going to do a joint practice. That's where Rodgers is going to get work. That's where he's going to get work. For Cleveland, the first work of training camp is going to be deciding which quarterbacks do we give snaps in the joint practices against Carolina and then against Philly. That's the preseason for them.
Give me the rookies. I know you got to get Pickett if they think that he's QB1 of that franchise. What did you make of the Bengals not doing joint practices?
Probably cost too much. Mike Brown probably didn't want to put that. I'm serious.
I've never seen that before.
I'm serious.
Don't have enough pie for that.
I don't think that because then you have to put your team in a hotel for a couple of days. He doesn't like that. The other thing that you got to do is, so either your team's in a hotel or theirs is, you got to provide food for an entire another team. There's always whispers, like at the NFL meetings, that Mike Brown was one of those guys when they were like, hey, man, why are we keeping this amount of players this long? I got to feed them for another week? Like, that's the mentality. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I'm not kidding. I would not be surprised if they didn't want the expense of it.
It's incredible because, like, those – I put more value in those joint practices than I do for anything else the NFL does in the offseason, even preseason games.
Dude, you do. NFL teams do.
I would hope so.
That's the whole thing.
The Bengals don't, clearly.
Oh, they don't. You know, that's how they roll. Austin Ward in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
At Kroger, we've lowered prices on over 1,000 items across our stores so you can save even more. Whether you're shopping in-store or online at Kroger, we've lowered prices on thousands of the items your family wants and needs. And with lower prices, your dollar goes further every time you shop with us. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Right now, pork back ribs or Tyson boneless chicken breasts are on sale for $2.99 a pound with your card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
It's Leslie from Pella Columbus.
I'm Wilson from that other window place. Leslie, what's that hot lamp against your window for?
Pella windows are tested up to 160 degrees Wilson to ensure efficiency and the lowest energy bills possible, even in the craziest of temperatures. Put your hand on there.
All right. God, that's hot.
On the window, Wilson.
Oh, hey, that is quite nice and cool. So I'm going to go grab some ice now.
Get the window that Columbus homeowners rated #1 for innovation at PellaColumbus.com.
As down payments get bigger, millions of renters across America feel like they'll never be able to buy a home. So instead of lowering expectations, Rocket Mortgage is lowering down payments to 1% for eligible home buyers with ONE+, helping more renters become owners. Call 800-4ROCKET or visit rocket.com to get a head start on your starter home.
Rocket Mortgage, LLC, licensed in all 50 states. NMLSconsumeraccess.org, number 3030.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use soft, fresh-tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
Ah, but do you know what our most important ingredient is? Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Almond Joy's got nuts and something even way better than that. Yes, Almond Joy is made with almonds and joy.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
He knows everything about the Buckeyes. He's been offered tens of dollars by a certain team to spill his secrets. He's told that certain team to go to hell.
Damn you all to hell!
He's Austin Ward.
Indeed, he is. And, of course, host of The Beat with Jeremy Birmingham on 10 TV Plus. And he joins on the Bryan Heating Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. All right, you listen to Ross. That's a hell of a press conference. There was a lot there.
Yeah.
He's got a big job. Big job on his plate. What were some of the headlines for you that by the time you were done that maybe like, oh, okay, that's where that's going?
Yeah, 75 minutes we spent on Thursday in the team room at the Woody with Ross, which was great. And it's funny, I walked up to him afterwards, and he said, how was that? Was that helpful? And I said, very much so, because every Monday, Bo and I sit here and we try and figure out what's going on. I said, the thing that I bring up the most with Bo, and that you and he's like, yeah, I know, collective bargaining. And I asked about it with the employment status because I wanted some of that to be on the record. It's not different than what you and I have described as being one of the hurdles, but I said that I think that helps, and then everything else. I actually felt this sounds crazy because a lot of what we feel about this feels like doom and gloom, and we say, well, you got to fix this, or college football can't survive, college basketball can't survive. And I know last Monday when we were talking about the House settlement, we mentioned, well, the first time that NIL Go strikes a deal down, that's immediately going to be another lawsuit. And maybe it still will be, but there was a level of optimism, not just from Ross Bjork, but other folks in the compliance department, that this is a pretty solid structure that should stand up to more scrutiny because it's coming out of a federal case and a federal ruling. And maybe because I don't have a law degree, that fact was lost to me a week ago. And we'll still see. It doesn't guarantee them anything, as they know. But I think that there is a sense now with some punishments and penalty structures being separate and outside of the NCAA purview that they're actually going to allow for a path forward. Now, none of that means when I say that I have a greater optimism or I feel better about it today than a week ago means that they're done settling all that, because they're continuing to disagree, even about small matters of how many conference games the SEC should play and the college football playoff structure and all that. I certainly understand there's a long way to go, but maybe I think I would have said Friday night of the House settlement 10 days ago was step one of 1,000 a week and a half ago, and now maybe it's more like 1 out of 100.
Yeah, I don't think there's any doom and gloom. I think that I don't feel doom and gloom, and I know you don't. I think most fans are, and you hear people say, well, I'm not going to, they're making this, but guess what? You're all still watching in droves. Yeah. So, and that's what drives this. It's the television dollar that drives this. That leads to the complication. And he mentioned that in terms of Big Noon and the amount of water that they've had to carry through the years on that. But the thing that I do think is this, he has so much on his plate. I think it's one of the most complicated jobs that you could have in sports right now is the job he has at Ohio State. And I think one of the factors, and he talked about this, is the stadium. It's over 100-year-old structure. It's a historical site. They have to modernize it. But in order to modernize it, you're going to need monster donations from people who are already taxed with NIL. And everything I'm hearing is that there is a donor fatigue. Like, this is all working, but there's a donor fatigue. What was the sense you got from Ross on how he's going to navigate paying for all of the things that they're paying for while also fundraising to do some things that, quite honestly, are going to be major upgrades at that stadium that need to happen.
Yeah, I think that there's no simple way that Ross could answer that, and no simple way that you and I could break it down, other than with the amount of revenue that is being shared and the total that is agreed to by the House settlement and across the highest level of college athletics, like, that's not a back-breaking amount. There, for Ohio State specifically, that $20.5 million, and then subtracting for scholarships down to $18 million, that still leaves enough for. I say this, I guess, from my own perspective or understanding, it's a lot of money, but like, it's not something that Ohio State then can't turn around and continue to invest in infrastructure, which they will. Now, the Horseshoe is the biggest bill out of all that, but they're also trying to enhance the Woody Hayes Athletic Center and modernize in there for the players. So those are two things going on at once. And, you know, I think the fact that they don't have to now go ask for 30, 40 million down the road necessarily directly for the players, at least out of that broadcast deal, the fact that they can offset that and pay that, and this may well be an oversimplification, but they at least have some money, I think, that's freed up that they're not going to have to ask for from the donors, because they have other projects that they want to work on. And this used to be the whole way of the world for college athletics as well. The only thing that you can spend your money on as a university is to put in miniature golf courses in your practice facility, slides, and better food and different training tables. So, you know, now that they can shift some of that money over here and they know what that amount is, I think in some ways that will be helpful for Ohio State. But, you know, and why you describe this so accurately about this being the most difficult job in college athletics, it all circles back together, which is he talked about the broadcast deals and the fact that those are locked in for 5 more years. That's part of what I think the fan base, and this doesn't apply to everyone, all that they really want is they're not upset about the charms or the antiquity of the Horseshoe necessarily. They just would like to be able to spend all day down there and see a marquee game at night. And so then it becomes this circular thing where Ross Bjork can't fix that right now, but he can do this other thing, and you have the hospitality suites. And really, we didn't even get into that over 75 minutes because there are so many things for him to get into and describe. Like, we could have gone for 3 more hours and still probably not touched on everything that is going on for Ohio State. But it's one thing that then feeds into another thing, which is tied into another thing. And the balancing act for Ross Bjork trying to be in the middle of all that is remarkably challenging. And I think the number one takeaway for me, though, was not necessarily what he said about one topic or another. I think it was the command of all of the issues that Ross Bjork showed on that, combined with advocating and fighting for Ohio State's best interests. You know, he's not going to go to the mattress for every single thing, and some things you can't go to if you have a contract in place for kickoff times, for example, and you have to wait 5 years. Okay, no big deal. You can at least have ongoing conversations and let people know what you're going to want out of that. And if there's a way in the short term, cool. But I think it is the passion and the understanding of the topics that I thought was really encouraging. And I mentioned that a few weeks ago about, you know, Fox and the Texas game specifically. But really, when you zoom out and you see that there wasn't one topic, which all of these things are incredibly difficult to understand, whether that's legal or contractual or whatever. He has a sense of command, I think, that is really impressive.
I said when he got hired, he was the perfect hire for the perfect time at the perfect place. And that's all that I have seen from him since he's been there. And you remember this. I mean, Pat Chun, everyone thought this would be Pat's job. And Pat knew a lot of people around here, but Ross was so damn impressive. And you're seeing it. You're seeing all of those things. But I do think this is kind of the hard truth for Buckeye fan. I don't see a scenario, buddy, especially if Michigan gets dinged bigly by the NCAA, or even if they get dinged at all. I don't see a scenario where Ohio State is playing a top 10 matchup at home any time slot other than noon until 2030. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, no.
That sucks, but that's the real truth to me.
I think that's right. And it's not even just the Michigan aspect of it. It is when they expanded the league, you have 4 teams on the West Coast that can't host those games or are highly unlikely to host them at 9 a.m. I can't imagine that USC's not going to do that. Oregon's not going to do that. Maybe you could coerce Washington to do that, but I doubt that as well. I mean, they shouldn't have to is also the point. But
it's crazy.
When you add those 4 teams, that limits down, and especially the fact that 2 of them we'd say are the marquee opponents in the league, that they can't play or marquee draws, the fact that they can't puts even more of a burden on Ohio State. And you saw that. When I've said this, it's not going to be confirmed or locked in until much later in the year, but when NBC announced the whiteout for Penn State and Oregon, it's like, okay, well, there you go. Fox still took Ohio State, Penn State with one of those top 3 picks, so that you have Texas, Penn State, and Michigan all going to be at noon. And that's the flexibility that Ross Bjork is asking for. And I think as you set the table and look towards 2030, you're either going to build into this contract more flexibility for Ohio State, or you're going to pay them more money, and possibly you're going to do both of those things. But Ross Bjork has already made that very clear, that if this team is going to be the standard bearer and shoulder all the weight for the Big Ten, then that needs to be reflected in at least one way and possibly 2 for their own benefit down the road.
It's just refreshing to hear someone with that in front of that dais wearing scarlet and gray talk like that. That I love that. And I love Gene. I thought Gene was great. But I just like that he's doing it, and it warms my heart to hear it. So, yeah, it was great. 75 minutes. Did we learn? Yeah, we learned a lot. Good stuff as always, buddy. We'll do it again next week.
I appreciate you both. See you.
All right, there you go. Austin Ward, The Beat with Jeremy Birmingham on 10 TV Plus, joining on the Brian Heating Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. We'll do a little thing or not a thing up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
We're the highest rated sports radio station in America. There's no joke there. We just are. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Join the free smoothie party at Tropical Smoothie Cafe on Saturday, June 21st for National Smoothie Day. Tropic Rewards members get a free smoothie with bowl or food purchase. Terms and conditions apply.
Check it. Keno Double Booster is back every Monday in June. For all Keno tickets with Booster purchased between 3 and 5 o'clock, the Booster will be double. Check it. Your winnings could be boosted by as much as 20 times. Don't miss out. Get your Keno ticket with Booster every Monday from 3 to 5 o'clock.
Cool.
Lottery players are subject to commission laws and regulations. Play responsibly.
Check it. Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Summer's heating up, and so are the deals at Germain Toyota of Columbus. Whether you're cruising to the lake or hauling your weekend gear, Germain, well, they've got the truck to help you get it done. Right now, get 2.99 APR for up to 72 months on the rugged 2024 Tacoma, or step up to the powerful 2025 Tundra, also 2.99 for 72 months. These summer savings, they won't last forever. So visit Germain Toyota on the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road, or online at germaintoyota.net.
Master Grillers Unite. The grilling season never ends at Billiards Plus. Come see their best-in-class grills for yourself and check out Central Ohio's largest selection of pool tables, game furniture, and shuffleboard. Family-owned and operated. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
That's are us. When dreams sunk in, that's are us.
Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel, plus low to no monthly payments. Call 380-225-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to bathsareus.com. 380-225-BATH.
That's are us. When dreams sunk in, that's are us.
Care Heating and Cooling. When you need a company you can trust, call 1-800-COOLING.
Career changers, including veterans and active duty service members. Your transition starts here. Go from GI to IT in a matter of months. Become a certified cyber warrior with training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, offering IT pros great opportunities and a rewarding lifestyle while protecting our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. Deploy your career in IT today. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. SkillBridge and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify.
This summer, save more with hot deals on Meyer brand must-haves for $2 or less all season long.
Like Meyer potato chips?
Yep.
Hamburger buns?
Of course.
Ketchup?
Absolutely.
How about Meyer lemonade? That's my favorite.
Yep, that too. Plus pickles, baked beans, cheese slices for sandwiches. It's your favorite Meijer brand must-haves for $2 or less all season long.
That's a good deal better.
Only at Meijer. Exclusions apply. See all deals in the Meijer app.
Hello, big voice guy here. I've been hired to tell you all about the Fans YouTube channel. Did you know you can immerse yourself in Buckeye goodness like Austin and Berm's daily podcast, The Beat? Yes, sirree, Bob. Subscribe today.
Hey folks, it's Austin Ward here, and I remember the first time I understood that old saying about giving a man a fish. It made so much sense, and I see examples of it all the time. Take the new weight loss meds, for instance. Think about this. You take a shot, you eat less, and you lose weight. But the second you stop, the weight comes back. You never actually changed anything besides eating less of the same bad things. I wasn't interested in renting my results. I wanted to own them. That's why I chose Awaken 180. I needed a lifestyle change, I knew it, and I was excited about it. A medication-free path to long-term weight loss. That's exactly what I got. It's been a year and a half since I dropped my 50 pounds, and I've kept it all off. Awaken 180 taught me how to adjust my approach to food. A real-time education on how to keep it off while losing the weight. I say, learn how to fish. It's easy, it's fast, and for the long-term bonus, no medications. Do what I did and choose the solution for weight loss. Awaken180weightloss.com, 844-346-1800.
Want to know anything about the Fans contest, how to win, or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Our top men are working on everything except this show.
We have top men working on it right now. Who? Top men.
You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, time for a little thing or not a thing on a Monday. Hit it, fellas.
Thing or not a thing.
Sponsored by Billiards Plus. Find your next grill and everything you need for the master griller. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Much sooner than anticipated, Shohei Otani is scheduled to return to the pitcher's mound tonight against the San Diego Padres. Otani's 21 months removed from a second repair of an elbow injury and is expected to throw about an inning or two in what will basically amount to a continuation of his rehab. It was only about a week ago Otani wasn't expected to rejoin the rotation until after the All-Star break. August was the earliest that some were projecting out. Dave Roberts told reporters Sunday, quote, he's ready to pitch in a major league game. He let us know that. LA does need pitching help. They've got 14 arms on the injured list as of right now. First pitch tonight between the Padres and Dodgers is a late one, 10-10. Thing or not a thing?
Big thing. Anytime he does anything, it's a big thing because there's no real precedent for it in the sport. I think what is going to be very interesting from their perspective is they are atop their division at the moment. They're 2 games better than San Francisco, but San Francisco just pulled the Devers deal, so that's going to give them a little bit of a shot in the arm. They're 3 games better than San Diego, who they play tonight. They have all the injuries, as you mentioned. But he's also the best player. So the risk you got to feel the risk of injury with this. He's had 2 elbow surgeries already, as you just articulated. So I think how they use him will be really fascinating down the stretch, and especially when you get into August and September and they start to get some of those guys back. How do they decide to deploy him? Is he somebody who could come in relief in the postseason, or what do you do? Because at the same time, you've won the World Series, you've given him all this money, and he's delivered on all of it. But you need him to play every day too. So this is where this whole experiment is really going to get pushed into question of what is the best use for the Los Angeles Dodgers and Shohei Otani.
I feel like this is a thing on so many levels because when he's the best player in baseball now. Right. Then you add an all-star pitching repertoire to his game as well, if that's what he returns to. It's just something that we've never seen in our lifetime.
No.
The closest thing is Babe Ruth way back when.
He was throwing to guys like you and me.
The other thing in this to me is this used to happen at AAA or AA, but you can't take his stick out of the lineup, so you've got to test and get him back in the major leagues against the best of the best. This is so fascinating. I guarantee you I will not be up tonight at 10:10 to see this because I'm probably planning on being at bed at like 7:30 or 8 tonight after this past weekend. But this is a huge thing, and if he can come back and be healthy and be even a shell of what he used to be as a pitcher. What he does is just ridiculous and amazing.
It's worth remembering. So in his first kind of full run at it was in 2021 with the Angels. He went 9-2 with a 3.18 ERA. The next year he went 15-9 with a 2.33 ERA. He finished fourth in the Cy Young, for God's sakes, while finishing second in the MVP. And then in 2023, the last time he pitched, he went 10-5, 3.14. It's nuts. I think he's the most talented player in the history of the sport. I don't even know what the comparison is.
It's hard to argue.
Yeah,
now some of them have never been able to do what he's done. They've never could Willie Mays have pitched if they'd let him? I don't know. Who knows? But this guy gets to, so he's doing it. So to me, he's the most talented player in the history of the game.
During an interview on the front office on Major League Baseball Network Radio, Reds president of baseball ops Nick Kroll said that the team had reached out to Ellie De La Cruz's camp about a long-term extension.
He's obviously one of the best players in the league. We made a run at it and obviously didn't get anything done. We've had those conversations, and that's not something that we've been able to obviously match up on. So hopefully maybe there's something there. But as of right now, there's no talks that are currently happening.
De La Cruz is a Scott Boras client and under contract through the 2029 season. Thing or not a thing?
So they'll trade him in. Where would you trade him to get the maximum value? Like 28? Or even sooner?
Maybe earlier.
Maybe sooner.
Sooner? Yeah. How do you. This is kind of like the Skeens thing, right?
Very similar.
Although they're better. But I mean, it's kind of like Skeens. Like, when do you get out of this and get maximum back? And then I think the bigger question is, if you are a Major League Baseball operation, should you be required to try to play Major League Baseball and compete? Do you owe it to your fans to do that and the windows when you do? Or do you just perpetually be a minor league team, basically, without a chance? That's what the Cincinnati Reds have to ask themselves.
So I have said for a long time that Ellie's going to look really good in Dodger blue in a few years. And I fully expect that to happen at some point.
It's crazy.
I wonder if the Reds, I wonder what their offer was. I wonder if that we could ever find out what their offer was, and if the Reds were being serious, or if the Reds were just saying, hey, we tried. We talked to him about an extension, and I like the trying to jump ahead of this. Ellie's a fascinating player, and he may be the most exciting player in baseball and maybe the most toolsy player in baseball. There's still a lot of holes here in his game and a lot of growth that Ellie needs. He's still got a big swing. He strikes out a lot. The defense isn't all there. I would still love to see him running around in center field. I think it would be fascinating. I don't know if shortstop is his long-term position, but I think someone eventually is going to overpay for Ellie because you see all the talent and the what could be, and they're going to give him a contract that maybe he's not totally worth. And if I ever thought he was going to sign in Cincinnati, the fact that Scott Boras was his agent made me know that wasn't going to happen. So hopefully I get 2 or 3 more years of enjoying Ellie De La Cruz running around the base paths.
I mean, to be fair, he is in minor league. He's in the minor leagues right now. He can work. He's working on this stuff now, and then in 3 years he'll go to the Dodgers and he'll go to the big leagues.
It'd be cool to see him on Sunday Night Baseball, like on a national televised audience and in the playoffs.
Assaulting big.
I mean, wouldn't you just kick a guy when he's down here, Bo?
Just paper cutting the skin between your toes with every comment.
You're lucky you gave me the diamond grill.
I did give you that.
You can hear Ellie De La Cruz on the radio. This, in fact, radio station.
Yeah.
They're not playing today, but they'll be back in action tomorrow. The Cincinnati
Reds. He's an
Reds
electric factory. It's such a strange thing in that sport where you just have to enjoy it. You pray that you get a postseason moment out of him during his time in Cincinnati, the same way you pray that if you're a Pirates fan, you hope that you get to see Skeens in a couple of years pitch in the postseason. I mean, that's kind of all you can hope for.
I hope they do trade him at the right time and maximize that value, because the Reds are a team that seems to hang on to guys too long before they can get everything they can. I hope they do that. And the Reds do have some good young shortstop prospects. They've got Matt McClain now who could move over and play short if needed. They've got Edwin Arroyo and some other guys that are pretty highly rated. So maybe you could maximize this and really help your team in the end.
Yeah, I mean, that's how the Guardians have been where they've been, is they've been able to maximize when to trade guys before those contracts become a problem, and they've gotten bounties in the background in return, and that's what's led them be in the mix for all these years. It's been a decade plus of it.
I just saw this from Pete Thamel on X. Going forward, Cal football coach Justin Wilcox will report directly to football general manager Ron Rivera.
Don't tell Pantone and Day that.
The heck?
Next thing you know, Ryan Day's going to be reporting to Mark. I mean, that's the way I would read that. That's the way I'd read that.
Andrew Luck is technically running Stanford football. Thing or not a thing?
It's a thing for sure that the head coach in college football forever, the head coach runs and answers really to nobody until it's too late. Truly. So this is a big change in the way things are being done that Cal's trying to do here. I don't know if it'll work or not, but it's a big swing. Big swing.
It always fascinated me that back when the stuff with Urban happened, that Michael Drake had power over Urban. Like, that was just so funny. When the head football coach at Ohio State, we know, is always the most powerful.
Like Tress always said that, like I really, you can't help me until I need help. And then it's too late because I'm already fired. It's kind of the attitude of it. We'll blitz the weekend coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
The two most mature people working at the radio station. And that's just because they wear pants.
The pervert and the skivvies.
Rothman and Ice.
Weekdays at noon.
The Fan.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
Right now, get 50% off your windows. That's half off, plus no interest, no payments for 12 months, and a free entry door with your window purchase. Restrictions apply. Call 614-502-5220. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
I can't wait to meet her. Oh my gosh.
Put your hands together for new Dr. Pepper Blackberry and Dr. Pepper Blackberry Zero Sugar.
There she is! Woohoo! Yeah! It's full Dr. Pepper!
With sweet blackberry flavor!
Dr. Pepper Blackberry, I'm obsessed with your succulent taste. Please marry me!
No! Marry me! Marry me, or I'm gonna freak out!
Try new Dr. Pepper Blackberry.
It's a pepper thing!
The most common form of treatment for the arthritic joints is normally cortisone injections and gel shots and over-the-counter medications. And most patients have tried all of that and are still in pain.
Every day, Dr. Aaron Wolkoff, a QC Kinetics medical director, meets patients who have exhausted every method to get relief. They've been told surgery is their only option.
They want to stay away from that path, and they come to us almost as the last hope. So we're using our own body's properties to help manage pain, to help slow arthritis down, keep the patients active with no downtime, and getting back to what they enjoy doing. I mean, I love what I do.
QC Kinetics regenerative treatments from our board-certified providers help heal and restore aching joints. No surgery, harmful drugs, or downtime. Call for your free consultation today.
Call QC Kinetics, 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544.
Don't miss the Right Rug Flooring Outlet Super Sale. Save up to 80% on truckloads of floors and more, including tiles starting at 19 cents a square foot and a massive selection of laminate, luxury vinyl, and carpet, all drastically reduced. Cabinets and lighting fixtures, too. Save up to 80% during the Right Rug Flooring Outlet Super Sale on Pop Road in Whitehall. 24-month financing is available with approved credit. Hurry, the Outlet Super Sale ends June 22nd. Dealers welcome.
At Valvoline Instant Oil Change, we're here to help keep you on the road so you can soak up all the summer fun. The road tunes.
Take me out to the ball game.
Hotel pools. Emergency ice cream stops. The sunscreen and bug spray everywhere. At Valvoline Instant Oil Change, we're here for it all. so stop in for a quick oil change before you go. Only takes about 15 minutes. No appointment needed.
At Kroger, we've lowered prices on over 1,000 items across our stores so you can save even more. Whether you're shopping in-store or online at Kroger, we've lowered prices on thousands of the items your family wants and needs. And with lower prices, your dollar goes further every time you shop with us. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Save big on eggs. Right now, 18-count cartons of large grade A Kroger brand eggs are just $3.49 each with your digital coupon. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Going up. Prices keep going up these days. It feels like being on an elevator that only goes up. Going up. But not at Metro. We're pushing the down button. Going down. We've lowered prices. Get one line of 5G data for $40. Period. That's 20% lower. And you get a free Samsung 5G phone when you bring your number. Only at Metro.
5-year guarantee on eligible plans. Exclusions apply. See website for details. Not available at Metro with T-Mobile in the past 6 months. Tax applies.
Evan Cohen here. Whether you're locking in your home run picks or riding with your favorite golfers this summer, ESPN Bet is your sportsbook for all the action. Go from checking stats on your favorite teams and players to placing bets in just a few taps. Plus, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Shopping with your parents can be embarrassing.
Why would they sell jeans with holes in them? I'm going to speak to the manager.
Mom!
That hoodie is giving. You should get it. YOLO.
Thanks to the Chase mobile app, your kid can shop independently while you keep an eye on their spending. So you can go from...
We can be twinsies.
To...
How was shopping? Saw you stayed on budget.
Thanks, Mom.
Freedom for kids, control for parents. That's family banking from Chase.
Account subject to approval. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. Member FDIC.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. When the NBA Finals are tied, whoever wins Game 5 has won the series 74% of the time. OKC will host Indiana tonight at 8 o'clock. Thunder won Game 4 this past Friday thanks to 35 points from Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. You can hear the NBA Finals on The Fan with coverage tonight following the Buckeye Show. In baseball Monday, the Reds and Guardians are off, but Shohei Otani is expected to return to the mound for the first time in almost 2 years to pitch at least an inning for the Dodgers versus the Padres at 10-10. The Stanley Cup Finals have a day off. The Panthers can retain the cup with a win over the Oilers tomorrow night in Game 6. Florida leads 3-2. Tuesday's face-off from Sunrise will be 8 p.m. This update sponsored by Dr. Mark Levy. If you're snoring and not sleeping, call Dr. Mark Levy's office at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. That's 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. Or visit him online at sleepbettercolumbus.com. Breaking sports news when it happens on The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
If you love a good pie analogy,
think of the cap as a pie, and once you take out one piece, there's less left for the next guy.
Then this is the radio show for you. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, final hour on a Monday. Tim May is going to join us in 27 minutes. He was boots on the ground at Oakmont on his perspective of what he saw there. Time now, though, to blitz the weekend. Hit it, guys.
Bishop and Friends present a weekend sports blitz.
Sponsored by High Bank Distillery, home of the best blended whiskey in America. Grab a bottle or dine in at their 3 restaurant locations: Grandview, Gahanna, and now in Westerville. Drink local. Drink High Bank.
I believe I had that. What did you have, Bake?
My believe I had that is going to be the same as last week because he continues to hit. And that is Brad Marchand for the Florida Panthers. Some stats on what Marchand is doing here. He leads all active players in the NHL in Stanley Cup Finals goals with 13. He's the first player to score 6 goals in a Cup Final since 1988. The first player to score 5+ goals in a Cup Final for 2 different teams. The most road goals in a Cup Final series with 5. 10 goals in 22 playoff games at the age of 37. And he also joins Mario Lemieux as the only players in the last 59 years to score 5 goals in multiple Cup Finals. I knew Brad Marchand and the Florida Panthers were going to be good. I did not realize it would be this good, though.
No, that's crazy.
What a rat.
Company. He really is.
I mean, he looked good in Union Blue.
Take him. You definitely take him because you'd win a lot more. You need a player. You need a player like that. I believe I had that Joey Chestnut needs the Nathan's Famous Hot Dog Eating Contest as much as the Nathan's Famous Hot Dog Eating Contest needs Joey Chestnut. Those two entities cannot really live or be successful without each other. Joey made the announcement either earlier today or yesterday that he will be returning to the Nathan's Famous 4th of July Hot Dog Eating Contest. He says, the event means the world to me. It's a cherished tradition, a celebration of American culture, and a huge part of my life, end quote. See you at Coney Island, Joey.
Sucking down
I will be there, but yeah, you'll be live on ESPN.
What did you just say? Something to American culture?
Yeah, that's what he said. It's a cherished tradition, a celebration of American culture, and a huge part of my life.
Nothing says America like lots
Americana,
of hot dogs
baby.
on the 4th of
Sucking
July.
them down.
Jeez. Yeah. I believe I had first goal Florida was going to be a problem. It was. They scored 2 in the first up in Edmonton in Game 5, and it was kind of curtains from that point out from Edmonton. I do think at some point McDavid just needs to shoot on net some. I think sometimes he carries it too long. He's trying to make the perfect pass. Like sometimes, dude, you just got to fire. Finally got a goal but at that point it was almost too little too late because Florida answered right away. So I believe I had that the pressure up there was going to be palpable, and it was. I did not have that. What did you not have, Bake? I
did not have that the Oakmont Rough would bring Bryson DeChambeau to his knees. I went on record that I thought that Scotty and Bryson or the field, I would take Scotty and Bryson, and I even went as far to say that I thought and put my money where my mouth was that Bryson would win the U.S. Open. Well, he didn't even make the cut. He was plus 10, didn't get to the weekend, and that Oakmont Rough was just too much for even Bryson's pitching wedge, and I was definitely wrong.
Also took a stray from Johnny Miller. Did you hear that?
No, I did not get that one.
Johnny Miller had a press conference on Saturday with Jack where he talked about Bryson didn't even make it to the weekend because he's hitting it all over the place, not hitting it straight. Like he took a real shot at him. Johnny Miller still got that fastball. I did not have that, Reese. What did you not have?
I didn't have Myles Garrett owning a pair of hammer pants. He threw out the ceremonial first pitch for the Rangers yesterday. In Texas. His dad caught it, which was a really cool Father's Day moment. But he had like the biggest pants in the world. And they were legit hammer pants. And for a person that big, I mean, I get it, I guess. If you want to keep those quads just warm and comfortable, you're going to wear parachuters.
That is, I think they're trying really hard to make that happen. That ultra baggy pant again that they're trying really hard.
Are your kids interested in that?
No, not yet, but give them a minute.
I don't know about parachute pants, but Miles does seem like a Zubaz guy to me.
It would...
Yeah, but
90s gym guys loved Zubaz, and that seems like Miles.
Less parachutey.
Yeah, they were flowing for sure. I didn't have Bootsy clutching up, so we played basketball in the morning. The two olders beat us 3-1, and then we played golf in the evening. And we had a 2-hole lead. We were playing match play, and we were on 7, and I just duffed a drive, just lost it, hooked it way far left, out of play. So he's standing on the tee, and I'm like, buddy, I need you right now, bigger than ever. Little dude stepped right in there, hit an absolute worm burner about 125 yards right down the fairway. God bless you.
Attaboy.
Let's go. What a clutch out of Boots. Good job, buddy. Player who impressed, Bake.
To me, Bo, it is the Olentangy School District. This coming from Director of Media Relations at the OHSA, Tim Streed. To the best of their knowledge, Olentangy has become the first school district to win a state championship in football, Liberty, in basketball, Orange, and baseball, Olentangy, in the same school year ever. A lot of talent up there.
It doesn't
in Lewis Center.
No, and they won lacrosse last year.
Girls lacrosse this year for Liberty.
Girls lacrosse this year. Yeah, it probably deserves even more time because I don't know what they're doing up there.
Liberty's hockey team has been great. Won state championships.
It's crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Player who impressed for me was Guardians reliever / closer Cade Smith. So this was the 5th inning in a game Friday night against the Mariners in Seattle that probably none of you watched. I was up because I have an issue. He took a line drive off his ball cap, and he stayed in the game. That's pretty tough. Like, I know it didn't hit him right in the face, but that is literally as close as it can get without touching you.
So we were sitting there in the rain waiting to see if we were going to play a game or not, and they put that on the big screen at Canal Park, and we saw it happen on the jumbo.
I thought he took it to the skull, and I was like, that's critical.
Oof. I'm going to go Caitlin Clark here. First game back. New York was undefeated. She had 25 at half, was hitting from everywhere. It was fun to watch. Really cool, especially in the rain. Gave me something to occupy me for 20 minutes. Player who disappointed, Bake?
To me, it was Rory for just those comments that we played earlier. And listen, he's one of the all-time greats. I understand he's not my favorite, and I feel like he should be better. I just don't think that those comments were necessary or needed. I know he's frustrated, and he's got to do that. There's some media obligations he has to do and whatnot. But, I mean, the media didn't do anything to you, dude. Just stop.
Yeah, I'm disappointed with the rest of the Cleveland Guardians. They got swept in Seattle over the weekend. 17-5 was the score through 3 games. It got blanked on Sunday. They're now at 35-35. So I guess my diagnosis of the Guardians a couple weeks ago was they're okay.
Are they sellers?
I don't think they have anything. They don't have anything that people want. But
Kwan?
outside of Kwan and Ramirez,
Clase?
who they're not getting rid of. Maybe Clase. But I'm
going to go Rory here as well. I think what I think we all thought was he'll win the Masters and then he'll play footloose and fancy free, and it's really the other way around. He won the Masters, and now he's kind of, the attitude that you get is like, okay, I don't need you anymore to talk about that I'm a good dude or I'm a great player. Like, I'm good, I'm cemented, and he's kind of leaning into it, and it's just a weird thing for somebody to make the choices that he's made. And this isn't about talking to the media. I'm talking about breaking a marker on a pin on a box, on a tee box. I'm talking about throwing his club, his driver at his bag. By the way, good reflexes to catch that on the way back. It's he doesn't need to talk to the media. They didn't know the media anything. That's not part of the PGA Tour. It's just what he said and the behavior that's very disappointing.
Yeah, if you don't want to be there, don't play. No one's making you play.
No one's making you, man. Yeah. Kilmer, honorary coach of the week. Who do you got, Bake?
Lucas Doherty. He's the head baseball coach at Waynedale. He's been there for 5 years. He's compiled a 130-32 record. They went 30-3 this year. They won the Division V state championship. In his 5 years, they have won 3 state championships and been to the state tournament 4 times. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I think this is the second week in a row for me picking DC Defenders head coach Shannon Harris. DC beat the Michigan Panthers 58-34 Saturday night in the UFL championship game.
Is Greg Williams on that staff?
And that'd be a heck of a thing. They gave up 34 points in the title till. Come on, Greg.
I think he might be on that staff. Yeah, defensive Oh, no, Blake is. His son Blake is. Greg was a defensive coordinator there for 3 years, and now Blake Williams is the defensive coordinator. Yeah, there you go. Bud Kilmer, honorary coach of the week, to me goes to Vincent Kompany. Vincent Kompany is a legendary European footballer. He is the current manager of Bayern Munich. If you're saying, well, why? Well, they played Auckland City in something called the Club World Cup that FIFA's trying their damnedest to make into a really big deal. And so far, they have the participation of a lot of the clubs that you would want. Bayern Munich beat Auckland City 10-0. What are we doing here? What is the point of this? There already is the Champions League in Europe. Not every league in the world is created equal. This is happening in America, and it's Real Madrid's over here. All these clubs are over here. It's just a weird thing, and there's no reason at all for Auckland City to play Bayern Munich in any way, shape, or form, and certainly not in a game that everybody's trying in. A Big Ten school gets spanked by the NCAA. We'll have the details. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Tweet from a listener. Are you carrying the Buckeye game today? Considering we've never not carried one, yes. The answer is yes. The Fan.
Check it. Keno Double Booster is back every Monday in June.
for all Keno tickets with Booster purchased between 3 and 5 o'clock. The Booster will be double.
Check it.
Your winnings could be boosted by as much as 20 times. Don't miss out. Get your Keno ticket with Booster every Monday from 3 to 5 o'clock.
Cool.
Lottery players are subject to commission laws and regulations. Play responsibly.
Check it.
Looking to sell your home? Don't pay 6% commission. Call my guys at Sell for 1% Realtors. They're full service, not a do-it-yourself kind of thing. On average, customers save over $10,000. Give them a call, 614-451-6616. That's 451-6616.
As down payments get bigger, millions of renters across America feel like they'll never be able to buy a home. So instead of lowering expectations, Rocket Mortgage is lowering down payments to 1% for eligible home buyers with OnePlus, helping more renters become owners. Call 800-4ROCKET or visit rocket.com to get a head start on your starter home.
Rocket Mortgage, LLC, licensed in all 50 states. NMLSconsumeraccess.org, number 3030.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use soft, fresh-tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
Ah, but do you know what our most important ingredient is? Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Almond Joy's got nuts and something even way better than that. Yes, Almond Joy is made with almonds and joy.
Hey, it's Anthony for my friends at Germain Honda of Dublin. Summer savings, Rich is backing it up. He has rates as low as 0% and leases starting from $249 a month. How about a 25 Honda HR-V LX CVT two-wheel drive? Lease it for only $259 a month. 36 months, 30,000 miles with only $30.39 down. And all trades deserve a sweetener. He's giving you an extra $1,000 for yours. See them for all the details. Germain Honda of Dublin, Sawmill Road, just south of 270.
I'm an old school Joe, and my philosophy is simple and effective. At the end of the day, it's not what you win or lose, it's what you save. And betting reduced juice at Prime Sports Ohio is the way to save money on every single bet. Download the Prime Sports Ohio app or visit our website, primesportsbook.com. Get a welcome bonus to match your initial deposit up to $400 in bonus bets. And be a member of the Prime Sports family.
Terms and conditions apply. Visit website for details. Must be 21 and present in Ohio. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is Corey Sickles with Safe Harbor Wealth Advisors. Concerned about your investment's rate of return? Let us show you exactly how your portfolio is performing. Visit safeharboroh.com to schedule a complimentary meeting. safeharboroh.com.
Are you ready for 971 The Race? It all goes down Saturday, June 21st.
Presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center.
T-Bone, Reeser, Tybus, and Common Man request your presence. 971therace.com. Do it.
Does heel pain make you hobble just getting out of bed in the morning? If heel pain is affecting your ability to exercise and meet your walking or running goals, relief is as close as your local podiatrist. Podiatric physicians are highly trained doctors who specialize in medical and surgical treatment of the foot and ankle. Ohio Foot and Ankle podiatric physicians are available across the state and are devoted to providing the highest quality foot and ankle care. For more information or to find a member of the Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association near you, visit ohiofoot.org.
Are you in need of basic dental treatment but can't afford the cost? There may be a solution. Hi, I'm Dr. Hal Jeter, president of the Ohio Dental Association, and I'm excited to tell you about a program called Dental Options. Dental Options is a partnership between the Ohio Dental Association and the Ohio Department of Health in which qualifying patients can be paired with a dentist to receive discounted or even free dental care. Eligibility for the program is based on your financial situation. For more information or to apply, call 1-888-765-6789.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We'll see mostly cloudy skies today with peaks of sun here and there. Afternoon highs getting into the low 80s, and it will be humid. But we will see chances of showers and thunderstorms develop in the afternoon to early evening, although a little bit more spread out. Overnight lows tonight down into the 60s with better chances of showers and storms overnight. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with your 10 weather impact forecast.
We've been your Jackets flagship station since day one. All the goals, all the action, all the memories. Your home for the Columbus Blue Jackets, the Fan, Ohio sports destination. If you say something with enough confidence, it must be true. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Every once in a while, you see a headline or you read a story, and you're reminded that the NCAA does still exist, and they are still trying, although flailingly, at punishing teams who have wrongdoing. I'm going to be honest with you. I did not even know that this team was under investigation. This is not Michigan.
I don't think they were under investigation.
So, trying to decipher through this, the Wisconsin football team was placed on probation and hit with a $25,000 fine. It was discovered 9 current and former staff members made impermissible recruiting calls in 2023. Now, the violations were discovered by Wisconsin's compliance system and self-reported. The Badgers were found to have dialed 139 impermissible phone calls to a total of 48 recruits. The school said its coaches and staff members were unfamiliar with its compliance process and the NCAA rules around phone calls. One thing that they are going to do, a 1-year show cause. Head coach Luke Fickell and outside linebackers coach Matt Mitchell are on probation for communicating with recruits from June 15th through the 21st. This is what makes all of this so, I think it's difficult to wrap your head around it's hard for us, and we're in the muck on this all the time. The selective enforcement, and to Reese's point, this is self-reported. The selective the selective enforcement for the NCAA is quite puzzling in terms of how things get done and how they don't. We have had investigations into Michigan going on for years now, and it feels like we had that story last week where it's anywhere between 30 and 90 days where they could get some sort of an answer on what their penalties are going to be. And then once you get those penalties, my hunch is there will be an appeal process on top of them. And so how do you possibly govern a sport that for the moment feels ungovernable? And if you're Wisconsin, why are you self-reporting anything at all? I mean, I did wonder that in terms of Luke. Like, first of all, the idea that Luke Fickell wouldn't know everything in regard to compliance is hard for me to wrap my head around. Luke Fickell is a dot every I, cross every T guy. The idea that he wouldn't be aware of something is very hard for me to wrap my head around. But the fact that Wisconsin would self-report it is also very difficult for me to wrap my head around. If we learned anything a decade ago from Miami football, from North Carolina basketball, from Kansas basketball, it was tell the NCAA to kick rocks. Prove it. Prove it. You have no investigative arm. Prove what we did. Why would any athletic department in America right now self-report? You should fight, be drug kicking and screaming to anything in regard to breaking the rules with the NCAA.
It feels like if Wisconsin didn't say anything at all, this wouldn't have been a thing. But I do think there are a lot of schools that probably want to act as if they're complying with everything so as to not run afoul because they still think that enforcement could be a thing. But if you're a school like Michigan, if you're a school like Ohio State, I think if there was anything like this, you just tell the NCAA, yeah, prove it. I mean, Kansas did it. North Carolina did it. Like all of these schools that have won championships, competed for championships, and some of the biggest sports, yeah, prove it. And if they prove it, it's like, okay, but.
So I wonder who's like going through phone calls and then figuring out who those phone calls are to check this stuff. Like, it seems weird. Like, how does Wisconsin know? Like, did somebody be like, hey, Luke, did you know these are the rules?
Right.
And he's like, oh, you know what? Let me go back and check my calendar. But I think last year on this date I called 13 kids, or whatever. This just seems a little weird to me. And conspiracy theory me says, I wonder if someone at Wisconsin did this so they can get out of this contract if they have to.
That's where I went to. Like, if this goes bad again, do you think Luke just bit off more than he could chew there?
Yeah.
I don't think he bit off more than he could chew. I just think it was weird. I just think his whole philosophy there was weird. Like, Wisconsin has always been a huge offensive line, run the football. He's like, come on, Phil Longo, let's air raid.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of what I mean. Like, if Luke had left Cincinnati, the year they made the college football playoff, and he would have had to have abandoned his team, which he's not about. And so you knew he wasn't going to do that. But had he done that, he very likely would have been the head coach at USC. Honestly, could have been. Could have been the coach at Oklahoma, could have been the coach at LSU, could have had any of those gigs. Notre Dame. I don't know about Notre Dame just because the reason I don't think Notre Dame is because I think Marcus made such an, here's the problem. Kelly left when he left, and they had a nice recruiting class that Marcus was central in getting locked in, and they did not want to lose kids to portal, and they didn't want that class to fall apart. So by keeping Marcus, they kept that together. So I know that he was on a very short list for Notre Dame, but I also don't know if that doesn't, like, would Marcus had stayed at Notre Dame if they had hired Luke right away?
I think he would.
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Or maybe he thought, actually, Marcus probably went and been the coach at Cincinnati. They would have crossed paths in the night is probably what had happened on that. I just thought it was I understand why he had to leave Cincinnati, feeling that he had maxed out there. I get that. But it was such a choice to go to that spot. It's a further outpost than you think in recruiting. They have a very specific identity for who they are. And I think to me, it feels like kind of like a little bit of a mini Nebraska, in that when Nebraska hired Bill Callahan and fired Frank Solich, and Bill Callahan it was a great guy, one of the greatest offensive line coaches in the history of the NFL. And he brought the West Coast offense to Nebraska. And it just fell flat. It just fell flat. And the reality is that that's not what they were. And you can't reset a roster. You want to know what it's also like? It's like Rich Rodriguez going to Michigan. It's that too. And chasing off Bourne and chasing off Ryan Mallett and saying, we're going to run spread and we're going to run tempo. You didn't have to do it the way that he did it with blunt force trauma, like My Way or the Highway. And I think the same thing kind of here with Luke. Like, they weren't that far removed from being a very competitive team in the Big Ten, and then he wanted to change who they are entirely. And I think that leads to where this is. And I don't know if he can get out of this alive, honestly. I don't know what their patience would be for him in that job if the winning doesn't happen soon. And it's hard. You look at their roster, it doesn't seem like there going to be any winning anytime soon at Wisconsin. I think that's become a very tough job. Here's the other thing with Wisconsin. They thrived in a East-West legends leaders situation. Without that now, where's their path for success? All those Big Ten West teams, where's their path for success now?
The units of other schools making the college football playoff from the Big Ten. Yeah, that's it. By the way, before we get to Tim May, pop quiz. Do you know what the NCAA did to Kansas? Who, by the way, was got by the FBI. Handed them a national championship trophy?
I have it, though. I have the actual penalty.
Oh.
You ready? Kansas is no longer the official NCAA's all-time winningest program because they had to vacate 15 wins. The Final Four banner from 2018 had to be removed, and the program's record books were updated to reflect the vacated wins. That's it. That's the list.
Get ready, Michigan.
That's it. That's what they got. Jeez. So anytime people say Michigan's going to get bombed, and I know that I don't know what to make of it, but I think it's going to depend on how you define getting bombed. That's probably the way that this thing goes.
I would just say to Ohio State fans, there's what should happen and there's what will happen, and what you think should happen.
Yeah.
So, like, take that down. What you should happen's a 10. Take that down to like a 2 or a 3. What will happen per this NCAA?
Remember when you were kids, Bo, you used to wear the rubber bands on your wrist and people would snap them?
Yeah.
Here it comes. Look out.
Here it comes. That's what you're going to get. Tim May was at the U.S. Open. We're going to get his perspective coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan. The Roofing Guys are your locally owned, trusted family business right here in Central Ohio. They've been hammering quality and service through the roof for over 25 years, offering professional services in roofing, siding, gutters, and more. Contact them at theroofingguys.com. That's theroofingguys.com.
When sudden illness or injury strike, Ohio State offers 3 types of urgent care to meet any of your needs.
From traditional urgent care to our specialized orthopedic urgent care for activity-related injuries and advanced urgent care for more serious injury and illness, Ohio State's experts treat everything from broken bones to ear infections and colds and flu. When your illness or injury can't wait, the choice is clear.
Hey folks, it's Austin Ward here. The new weight loss meds are having results, but what happens after you stop taking them? I didn't want to rent my results. I wanted to own them to keep the weight off. I chose the medication-free solution for weight loss, Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Guys, listen up. How many of you out there have been diagnosed with sleep apnea? Maybe your partner can't tolerate your snoring every night. You can't stand your CPAP machine. I totally get it. But the good news is there are alternatives to the CPAP machine. And Dr. Mark Levy is here to change your sleep and your life. Trust me, your spouse will thank you later. Dr. Mark Levy can customize an oral appliance that opens your airways, helps you breathe better, and, of course, stops your snoring. That's the main point. It's quick and comfortable and an alternative to those bulky, loud CPAP machines you always hear about. For over 15 years, Dr. Mark Levy has led the way when it comes to treating snoring and sleep apnea, and now he's expanding his practice to better serve his patients with a brand new location in Marysville. I love Marysville. If you're snoring and not sleeping, you need to call Dr. Mark Levy's office today. Do not delay. Schedule your appointment today with Dr. Mark Levy at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. That's 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. You can also visit him online at sleepbettercolumbus.com. And now, sleepbettermarysville.com too.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
With friends like these, who needs former college football players? This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, we normally do this on a Friday, but he spent the weekend at the United States Open at Oakmont, and I wanted some boots on the ground for the carnage that happened over there. When you, on your way home, as you're leaving Oakmont yesterday, what's running through your head in terms of, go back to your old days of covering something and writing game stories? What is the story of Oakmont and the 125th U.S. Open for you?
In a word, perseverance. The thing about it is I'm trying to be as semi-retired as possible anymore, but there's no way you leave. I mean, if I didn't have to write another story the rest of my life, I'd be the happiest man in the world, because I do believe my fingers are falling apart. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
From the millions I wrote before. But yeah, I always like asking questions, and I'm telling you, I'm standing up by the 17th green when Spahn hits that shot in there. That really was the dagger, and he ends up, it's a par 4, but it's drivable. And all I know is you hear this plop, see the ball hitting, and it rolls right by the hole, for at least from my vantage point. And then he misses the eagle putt and comes back and makes the birdie. As I like to say, if anybody follows me on Twitter knows that Ohio State games, the big games, I will have try to anticipate and then delineate by Twitter, X, formerly known as Twitter. The moment of truth has arrived, you know.
Yeah,
and that was, moment of truth was the goal line stand against Texas, which followed by one of the greatest moments, one of the great moments. It would be right up there with any other great moment in Ohio State football history, the strip sack return for a touchdown by Jack Sawyer, now a Pittsburgh Pirate, who was actually a Pittsburgh Steeler, who was actually out at the course a couple of days ago, but I didn't see him. But anyway, that was a moment of truth for J.J. Spahn in the whole tournament. And this guy had been given up for dead after the first 9, steps up, hits one of the great shots, and then 2 putts for a birdie. He's got the lead over a guy you never anticipated being in it at the day started, Robert McIntyre. Who the heck is that, right? When I saw both of them, I was standing. I sent you a picture, a screenshot I saw on TV this morning. If you zeroed in, you know when moments in history happen. Well, that wasn't exactly that moment, but I was standing right there next to the number 1 fairway when Spahn hit his first tee shot into the rough, and McIntyre hit the ball into almost the exact same spot, like I think 1 or 2 twosomes ahead of him, and boom, who ends up number 1 and number 2 in the tournament? I mean, it's crazy. Yeah. But yeah, that was a moment, because then where I had hidden during the rain, because I had been there forever, and I'd gotten into I gotten into some, what do you call it, some cul-de-sacs, some dead ends when I was trying to find shortcuts.
Yeah.
But I had remembered this place behind 17 that led into like where all of the not logistics, what's the word, support systems were kind of like HQ'd for a lot of the west side of the course. And I knew there were places in there you could just go and stand, be undercover and stuff, and nobody'd even notice you, and that's where I went. And so then 17 to see, because, I'm listening to it on the radio. You got to have a radio if you're at a golf course to really know what's going on. But the great thing about where I was, you could see like 15 green, 16, and 17, and you could look up toward 18. And then I walked up 18 after he hits that tremendous down the middle tee shot on 18. I'm on the right side there, and I'm going, you know what? If he makes birdie here, the exit's right there, and I'm going to be out of here before Burns, because Burns and
get going.
Burns and Adam Scott were like the leftovers of fireworks floating down, at that point. You know what I mean? Yeah. They had popped and gone. And so, he makes that thing. I watched the celebration. I had nice binoculars. I think you can see them on my chest there, the picture I sent you. Nice binoculars. I watch him and his caddy jumping around. The way you could keep up with him was the umbrella the caddy had. It was pretty funny. It was like hopping up and down and with a little man like 5'8", 5'9" JJ Spawn underneath, and I got it's the thing I love about it's going to be self-aggrandizement. This is what I've always liked about me is it can be any moment in sport, man. I get those chills, that electrical shock that runs up your back when something great happens, and you just got to see it, and that's what you get in moments like that, Bo. I don't know I think if you're a true sports fan, no matter who it is.
Still get them. Yeah.
I was just talking to Ryan Baker, and I remember a great play at the girls' softball tournament, state tournament. I had to cover. I enjoyed it. When something's on the line, that's when it's great to be there, And but that's the kind of chill you get, and it's just cool because I had picked Spawn on Saturday night after all the dust had settled. I picked him on X he was my favorite to win it, no matter what was going on with everybody else, just because I like his story, but I also liked, as I X'd yesterday, there are horses for courses. He was a horse for that course, and he got so, what's the word I'm looking for that means you got messed over but doesn't start with an S?
Oh, when he hit the flag.
Oh.
Yeah.
And he had just played one and bogeyed out of the rough, and then all of a sudden I'm listening to that. I hear that on the radio, and as I'm walking over toward trying to put myself in position, because you knew rain was coming eventually yesterday, and I just went, well, darn it, how am I going to explain this to all my readers who really don't care what I say anyway? But
well, here's the thing I wanted to ask you, because you've covered, you've done, this is your fourth straight, right?
Yeah, U.S. Open, yeah.
Here's the thing that I had a buddy of mine who loves sports same way we all do, and will watch almost anything that's competitive at a high level. And he said, I don't like it. I don't like the U.S. Open. I don't like what drudgery it is. It feels like there's some luck involved with it in terms of who can survive it and who can't. My response to that was, I understand where you're coming from, but at least the U.S. Open has an identity. And I think what I enjoyed, it's funny because like Oaklawn doesn't look on television, Tim, it doesn't look particularly appealing. There's no trees, there's no water. It just kind of lays out there in front of you. But I do like the fact that these guys have to mentally change their headspace from on every par 4 tee box, go make a 3 to, man, make a 4 and sprint to the next tee box. It's just a totally different way of golf, buddy.
We talked about that on Friday. Par is a relative term. I mean, yesterday, remember when you asked me to pick, I said I thought maybe something in the 7, 8, -8, 7, 8 realm was going to do it. And then when it got softened on Saturday, I thought, that's going to be the ticket, and then it didn't happen because it went from almost predictable to like you still got that rough to deal with, and but I'm with you. Here's the thing about golf that I agree with your buddies on. It's like me watching an NBA game. I'd much rather watch the last 2 minutes than sit through the whole other thing, because the rest of it's just building to the last 2 minutes. And golf, the U.S. Open, has turned into that. I mean, 3 of the 4 I've been to. Windham Clark had a little bit of an edge going into 18 at LACC. But Matt Fitzpatrick and Will Zalatoris at the country club, the first time I did this, I followed them the last 9 holes. And, Will Zalatoris missed 2 makeable putts, or he might have won the U.S. Open. You know what I mean? Down the stretch. Same way yesterday. It was like somebody had put this trophy out there. It was like somebody had put this trophy out there and said, hey, whoever wants it can go get it. And J.J. Spong went and got it. He had 4 birdies on the backside. Are you kidding me? He birdied 2 of the hardest holes in golf, 17 and 18. By birdied, I mean you take your chances, man, when you try to drive that green on 17. But, boy, what a reward, because you're going to get out of there with at least birdie, and you got to give it up to him. Hovland, bless his heart, couldn't make a putt. He looked like Tim May putting. He was hitting off the front, off the toe of his club, off the toe of his putter, off the heel, etc. He was just all over the place. But J.J. Spahn, I mean, you just feel it. Sometimes there's just a moment that's made for a guy, and that was that. And the thing about it is, I'm not sure the U.S. Open, what do they call it, identifies great golfers. It identifies patient, resilient. I'm not going to lose my cool here and bash the tee marker like stupid Rory McIlroy did. Boy, I've lost a lot.
So have I.
Lost a lot of respect for this guy. I still like to watch him play golf, but he's done a 180 when it comes to keeping things in check. And and it's inexcusable. Just like that the Windham Clark video or photo that's online of him allegedly busting up those lockers in a really storied locker room. Are you kidding? I mean, if he doesn't get fined heavily for that, and Rory fined heavily, but I'm not sure the USGA would probably have to do it. It's not a PGA event, But although it does count the PGA points, but I think it identifies guys who can keep their cool and guys who can't more than anything else. It's funny because Windham Clark won the LACC Los Angeles Country Club Open, but I'm just impressed by guys who step up. Like guys who make free throws in the clutch. I'm just impressed by guys who step up at the moment and make the shot. And J.J. Spahn was so cool, man. And I've been intrigued with him ever since I know he won the Texas Open a couple of years ago, but I've been intrigued by him ever since the playoff or getting into the playoff with Rory back in wherever that was, March at the Players. I thought, wow, haven't been paying attention to this guy, and hardly anybody else has either. But he's got a game.
Yeah. You're Shinnecock next year?
Yeah, baby. I don't know after that, but I'm only signed up for Shinnecock. I already paid my dues there, but also got my room reserved, so I'm good to go.
I love it. Hey, buddy, it was cool kind of watching it through your eyes and joining us on the course on Friday and then breaking it all down and wrapping it all up today. Thanks for your time, pal.
Hey, I always found a place where I didn't have to talk real quiet like I'm on a golf course.
Yeah, I like that. I like when you get creative.
All right, Bo. See you, brother.
Buddy. There he goes. Tim May joining us. He volunteered this 4th straight one. I love that I think it's such a cool idea what he does, volunteering for the U.S. Open every single year. We get you 3 things on a Monday up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
A lot has changed in 30 years, but we're still that old shoe that feels worn in and well-loved. And well, we smell a little, but you've accepted that. The Fan.
Join the free smoothie party at Tropical Smoothie Cafe on Saturday, June 21st for National Smoothie Day. Tropic Rewards members get a free smoothie with bowl or food purchase. Terms and conditions apply.
Check it. Keno Double Booster is back every Monday in June. For all Keno tickets with Booster purchased between 3 and 5 o'clock, the Booster will be double. Check it. Your winnings could be boosted by as much as 20 times. Don't miss out. Get your Keno ticket with Booster every Monday from 3 to 5 o'clock.
Cool.
Lottery players are subject to commission laws and regulations. Play responsibly.
Check it. Care Heating and Cooling. Honest technicians, honest pricing. Call 1-800-COOLING.
Hey, it's Anthony. Comfort is king. We all strive for it, but life gets in the way. You know that. And oh, my aching feet is not just a cliche. That's why the Good Feet store, in my opinion, has the best arch support solutions engineered to help you and me live the life we love without pain. For more than 30 years, they've taken great pleasure in helping thousands discover the comfort they've been dreaming of. I'm a customer. I have their 3-step system put right into all my shoes. They support, balance, and strengthen my feet and really guide them right into their ideal position. Every step I take, every move I make, I get relief. Not from the song, although I love that, but from my personally fit arch supports from the Good Feet store. Your free fitting is designed to help them understand you, your pain, and your discomfort, your personalized system. You'll walk out wearing your new arch supports hassle-free and begin living the life you love without pain. The Good Feet store on Stringtown Road in Grove City or Polaris Parkway. Learn more at goodfeet.com.
This just in from the Lindsay Honda Newsroom. It's our big anniversary sale. 0% for up to 60 months has been extended on all new Hondas. Try the new 2025 CR-V LX all-wheel drive with 0% financing.
Lower your rate, lower your payment.
Save thousands on hundreds of new Hondas when you buy now.
With so many Hondas, why would you go anywhere else?
Shop the big, the beautiful Lindsay Honda now. Visit lindsayhonda.com for details.
Sometimes I hear a sparkling sound.
Like when we say, all you have to do is point?
There it is.
That's the sound of magic happening.
Magic like we can come the day you call us? Wow.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
We could tell you what makes Giant Eagle special, but we think our customers say it best.
I love the fresh produce. I love the fresh meat.
I'm pretty sure the fish guy knows me by now. We're buds.
I love to grill. That alone keeps me coming back.
The people that work here are so nice and so helpful.
Everybody loves the cakes from Giant Eagle.
On every shelf, in every department, we're always going for better because being your Giant Eagle matters.
This is my Giant Eagle.
This is my Giant Eagle.
This is my Giant Eagle.
When it comes to your roofing, siding, or gutter needs, call Newman Roofing. 614-NEW-ROOF. NewmanRoofing.com.
Morning Juice is live on YouTube. Weekday mornings starting at 6. Or on demand whenever you want it. Yeah, whenever. Bobby Carpenter's at your beck and call. And Tito's there too, you know, to clean the toilets. Head to YouTube and subscribe today.
As down payments get bigger, millions of renters across America feel like they'll never be able to buy a home. So instead of lowering expectations, Rocket Mortgage is lowering down payments to 1% for eligible home buyers with One Plus, helping more renters become owners. Call 800-4ROCKET or visit rocket.com to get a head start on your starter home.
Rocket Mortgage, LLC, licensed in all 50 states, NMLSconsumeraccess.org, number 3030.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use soft, fresh-tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
Ah, but do you know what our most important ingredient is? Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Almond Joy's got nuts and something even way better than that. Yes, Almond Joy is made with almonds and joy.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. 10 feet tall and bulletproof isn't just a saying, it's a way of life. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
It's pretty interesting. I'm on the U.S. Open website in terms of, they got planned out through 2051 U.S. Opens. There's a couple that are still out there, like 48 hasn't been decided, 2043 hasn't been decided. That's it. All the rest of them are locked in. And the U.S. Open they very much have a rota now. I mean, it's pretty much the way they do the British Open. I mean, it's Oakmont, it's Shinnecock, it's Pebble, it's Wingfoot, Pinehurst. It's all the courses that we've seen really our whole lives. And they're just going to continue to play those courses. Every once in a while, they'll mix in Oakland Hills. They'll mix in the Country Club, LACC, Marion. But by the way, we've all seen those U.S. Opens through the years. So they're going to play the same courses over and over on the U.S. Open side of things. So you're going to get Oakmont about every 6 years is the way it's going to shake out. What do we have on the poll today, Reese?
Asks, who do you think is winning Game 5 of the NBA Finals tonight? Oklahoma City or Indiana? 53% say OKC are going to win, 46% for the Pacers. It's just interesting to note that in Game 5, when the series is tied 2-2, the winning team for the Game 5 is 74%. They have the chance to win the whole series.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it feels like OKC. It feels like OKC in, I don't know, is it 6 or 7? But I think the hockey's done tomorrow. I think it's cooked tomorrow. All right, time for 3 things on a Monday.
1, 2, 3 things.
Sponsored by Buckeye Lake Marina, Central Ohio's largest selection of new and pre-owned boats. Find your next dream boat at BuckeyeLakeMarina.com.
All right, number 1 for me, it was not a good Sunday for Buddy Garrity. So I bought him this splash pad because he won't go in the pool. He just won't. He's terrified of it. He won't go in it, and so I'm done trying to make him. So I'm like, well, I want something so he can frolic around in the water. He likes playing with the hose and stuff. So I bought him like a splash pad thing that he could go into, and the water he screws around with the water. We ended up drinking a lot of the water. But he did the damnedest thing. And Reese, you're a dog guy. Maybe you can shed some light on what you think happened here. But I went in the house. And as I went upstairs, he was at the base of the stairs, and he just peed in the house on the carpet. Now, he has not done that since he was probably 6 months old. And then an hour later, we were outside, and he just peed on the landscape rock architecture stuff, where we walk, on essentially the sidewalk in the back. What are you doing? Dude, where is this coming from? So then I made him go to the bathroom, well out in the free area there, and he went for a long time. But I don't know why he didn't just go. We were outside all day. There was no reason. It was the strangest behavior. I don't know what happened to him.
Yeah, I would wonder if maybe he just drank a bunch, and at one point your body just yep, time to go.
But it was weird that he didn't go where he normally goes. That's the thing that was strange, that he's if he has to go, he usually goes over there and he goes. So weird. I don't know.
First thing for me, there's still time. Saturday is shaping up to be gorgeous. Looking at a high of 86, a low of 74, with a 10% chance of rain. So there's still time to register for the inaugural 971 The Race, presented by the Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center. We'll be doing it at Westerville on the campus of Otterbein University. 5K run, 1 mile run / walk. So if you're not doing anything Saturday, we would love to have you join us at Otterbein in Westerville. Some of your favorite fan personalities will be there. Eric as well. Every participant gets a finisher's medal, race shirt, free photos, and awesome gifts from Logan Services and Raising Cane's. The inaugural 971 The Race, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, sponsored by Impact Health and Wellness, and by the Ohio State University Army, ROTC. You can sign up at 971thefan.com. Hope to see all of you out there Saturday.
My first thing, we've already talked about a couple of them, but congratulations to the 7 state baseball champions that were crowned this weekend. Olentangy, Anthony Wayne, Licking Valley, Menor Lake Catholic, Waynedale, Berlin Highland, who won their 3rd straight baseball championship, and Minster. Fun time seeing those kids win championships on the field.
Who beat UAS on the boys' side in the Division II? Was that Licking Valley?
It was D3 Licking Valley.
Good job out of them. Private school. I like public school private. That's a nice job. Good job for Licking Valley on that. Number 2 for me. So I started Tulsa King because I told Don that I would. This is where I am with Taylor Sheridan shows now. It's enjoyable. There's great scenes here and there, and Stallone peacocking around's a lot of fun. You just have to suspend all suspension of disbelief, because there's just every scene I'm like, well, what do we do? And so he can write. This is where I am with him. He can write great scenes. Great actors can play those scenes, but the overarching kind of theme is just lost. He's an idea man, but he can't get it to lock in terms of big stories. So it's enjoyable. I've watched 2 episodes. It's fine. It's nice, but just makes no sense cognitively on what the plan is.
Yeah, I'll make that my second thing. Just piggybacking off of Tulsa King. It's fine. Yeah. But I don't know where there needs to be a 3rd season, and I don't know if there's room there for a spinoff, unless you kind of it's a new show, I guess, less a spinoff.
How did he get the authority to go to Tulsa?
Well, he did.
Did they scout out Tulsa and say, here, you can go here? Why the guy running the weed shop where marijuana is legal, why does he need anybody to protect him of anything? I mean, the whole pitch was based on like taxes.
Yeah,
crazy.
it was.
It just made no sense.
Like mob takeover, but like in a charming way. And he was sent to Tulsa as kind of like sending someone to Siberia.
That's what I mean. I just don't understand it.
I don't know. It's like his kids, like the the family in New York. The kids are running the show, and they're in comp. Yeah, it's a lot of holes, but kind of charming.
Yeah, and Stallone's good. It's fun to watch.
Second thing for me, Bo, I don't usually complain about the Ohio weather, but after this weekend in the rain up in Akron that made long days longer and a long weekend even longer, I understand why you, dealing with youth sports,
it's awful,
would complain about the weather a little more because it did kind of make things a little crazy this weekend.
All you do, buddy, is sit around and wait.
And we did that until midnight the one night, and then played
all you can do
till about 12:30 the other night. So
it's awful.
Yeah,
it's awful. Finally for me, great Father's Day. It was sun-kissed. Played some hoops, played some golf with the boys, had a great meal. I still love the thought that they put into the gifts. I can tell which kid kind of leaned on what and who had what, and they're so proud of it. It's just an awesome thing. So great job for the family on Father's Day, and I hope everybody out there had a great Father's Day yesterday.
Yeah, second happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. I know Baker and those in Northeast Ohio kind of had rain on the weekend, but the weather really held up well here in Columbus. We're able to get on the bike Sunday and ride on over to Land Grant and watch some F1 and really just enjoy an outdoor space and have a beer in the sun.
Beautiful.
Can't beat that.
Sunday was perfect, yeah.
Final thing for me, Rothman and Ice coming up next. DeVere in for AR. They will talk to Bill Bender at 1.
There you go. You have that to look forward to, which is nice. We are back tomorrow. Thanks for listening, everybody. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Oh, hey, the best football team in the country's on the best radio station in the country. Congratulations, Buckeyes. Here's to 100 more years together. Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan.
Make this your year. Looking for a new career in the high-demand fields of IT and cybersecurity? Attend classes live online or on campus. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today.
Financial aid is available to those who qualify.
It's Leslie from Pella Columbus.
I'm Wilson from that other window place.
Wilson, I got the nicest Google review today. Dewey from Gehanna said, "We cannot believe we are able to get the Pella look and quality at the cost we did."
I got a review too. Listen to this. "These windows were great." Oh boy, for about a year. Looks like I'll need to renew, in quotes for some reason, my windows way too soon. Repeat customer?
Get the window that homeowners rated the leading window brand in Columbus at PellaColumbus.com.
Get Eco.
ECO. Hey, Jerry, I think I invented something.
Does it solve a problem?
It solves a big problem.
Get Eco.
ECO. Heating and cooling companies are telling people your furnace and AC isn't worth fixing. You need to replace it with a whole new system.
You invented a solution for that?
I invented a way to fix those systems for free.
Get Eco.
ECO.
That's a great invention. How does it work?
Step 1 is to pay ECO to fix it.
I thought you said you'd fix it for free.
Step 2 is that we give you back all the money that you paid us, up to $1,500 when you get ECO to replace it.
Get Eco.
ECO.
What if your repair keeps my system running for several more years?
That would mean you got all those extra years for free.
Paying ECO to fix your AC system is like putting money in the bank.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Get Eco.
ECO. Eco plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians.
GetEco.com.
There's a huge focus in America today about your health, and you're determined to look beyond the pills. You don't want to have surgery, because I know I didn't. So you want to talk to the person that's in pain right now? Well, that was me. Maybe it's you, maybe it's someone you love, and maybe you've done everything you can. Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter for my friends at QC Kinetics. They're different. They're not about those quick fixes. This isn't going to be some shot that's going to make you feel better. It's not a surgery that's going to put you on the shelf. They're about long-term relief. This is regenerative medicine we're talking about right here. Your own body's healing properties to heal the damaged tissue at the cellular level. QC Kinetics, they've helped tens of thousands of people, so many of them right here in the Columbus area and across the country. They'd be honored to help you just like they helped me with my knee, just like they helped my dad. Here's what they're going to do. They're not going to mask the pain. They're going to go to the source of it. So go check them out at qckinetics.com/Columbus to see if you're a good candidate, or give them a call at 380-28-4544. They've got offices in Dublin and in Gehanna and newly in Canal Winchester and Grove City.
Here's a look at what's going on around the ballpark with your Cincinnati Reds. After clinching the Ohio Cup in Cleveland, the Reds are wrapping up the current Midwest road trip this weekend in Detroit. They'll return home on Sunday, enjoy an off day on Monday, Monday, and then take on the Minnesota Twins in a short 3-game homestand beginning Tuesday. That night will be the next Bark in the Park night, presented by Good and Fun, Dreambone, and Kroger. Ticket packages are available for dogs and their owners, with pet activities, samples, and more in the First Star Fan Zone. On Wednesday, fans will receive an Ellie De La Cruz bobblehead featuring Ellie sliding, presented by St. Elizabeth Healthcare. That'll go to fans in attendance while supplies last. And that'll be followed by another Business Day Senior Day special to wrap up the homestand on Thursday. For information on everything happening at Great American Ballpark all season long, visit Reds.com. That's a look at what's going on around the ballpark with your Cincinnati Reds.
Another checkup? Why are so many people getting new puppies?
Dr. Kim's veterinary office is littered with cuteness.
We are booked solid for weeks, but who can say no to a puppy, right? Oh, who's a good boy?
She needs to find extra vet techs to get those pups some extra love.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, candidates can find it easier, so you can hire easier. Redeem your $75 credit at Indeed.com/credit. Terms and conditions apply.
Adam Schefter here for Vivid Seats, your ultimate destination for all your sports and concert needs this summer. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every home run and thrilling comeback in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Visit VividSeats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.